Hello and welcome to We Got Issues, the only comic book show that knows the secret location to Alan Moore's lost script of the 13th issue of The Watchmen. Hi, I'm Brian Compton, aka BComp, and joining me as always is the Iron Man to my War Machine, Josh Markwith. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. So I think it's crazy that Alan Moore would have another issue of Watchmen. I mean, I'm really hope that's true. I know it's not because
It's
he's
not
too
true. It's
busy.
not true.
He's too busy being a lizard wizard, in his bunker and somewhere in England, just being angry about anybody who does an adaptation of any of his work or even just talks about his work. But and I appreciate the Iron Man call instead of the War Machine, or is that on purpose because you like War Machine more than Iron Man?
You know what it is? As you know, I like to collect dollar comics, and I stumbled upon the '90s run of War Machine. Not all of it, but the majority of it. And I stumbled on there's an arc at the end of it where he literally gets this like alien organic War Machine armor because the Tony Stark armor gets destroyed, and so it's like this weird
Mhm.
like what were they thinking? But I was like, hey man, they were swinging for the fences on it at least. It was your boy Dan Abnett, I believe, who did that story arc too.
Oh,
So it was
nice.
just
Okay.
kind
Makes
of
sense. Makes sense. It made it an alien. Like,
yeah, it reminds me of when Guy Gardner got those alien shape-shifting powers, if that makes any sense. It was like, "Hey, we're gonna just throw out the baby with the bathwater and start over
yeah,
from scratch and just kind of like do something completely off." Oh, that didn't work. Well, all right. Well, you tried. You tried.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, nice try.
yeah, I don't
Better
know if
luck
it's
next time.
yeah, I haven't had a chance to read it. I did remember reading it when I was a kid because I was at one point like I was buying all Marvel comics I could find, and I'd like buy them at like Walden Books or whatever it was, like on the rack. But I don't remember having fond memories. But I can't wait to dig through and see if they're actually worthwhile. But anyway,
That's pretty much the
it
whole '90s.
yeah, it's a majority of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right, not wrong. Well, in today's episode, we're getting Invincible. And no,
but
we're not talking what's that?
you have to do
Oh,
like doing the show where we're getting,
oh
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden, boom,
Y
invincible. Okay,
That's right. Sorry. So we'll start
no
again.
problem.
In this episode, we are getting
Boom, and then that's all.
Invincible.
Yeah, there we go.
That's there we go. And no, we're not talking about season 3, episode 2 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's time to tackle the second compendium of Invincible.
Which that was a pun in itself. If you know the episode of that, oh, it's always sunny in Philadelphia. You know, time to tackle because it's about the football.
Yeah, well,
Um,
they're getting Invincible because of the Marky Mark movie.
right. But I'm just saying that your use of the word tackle is also apropos,
Oh,
pun
I know.
intended.
Pun intended, intended.
Which I think that's the introduction of the Green Man.
It is. That's when Green Man makes his, debut. I believe that is correct. Which is it's that peak of, Sunny when there was, like, that good, like I mean,
Yeah,
not that the episodes are bad now or like that, but it was like those first few seasons were woo-hoo-hoo, they were great.
yeah. It's just a classic show. I mean, they're kind of like Simpsons, where they just keep coming out with new seasons, and they just keep finding ways to be funny.
Yeah. Well, we're getting off topic. Let's keep moving on. I was gonna say
No, finish the story.
I was gonna say I wrote a spec script, for a
I
Sunny episode.
remember that.
Yeah, and I actually ended up getting pretty far in the process with it. Not that it was for Sunny, but it was for another like a writing thing or
Mhm.
something like that. I actually got pretty far based on that spec script. I was like, I don't know if you remember, but I was like, you seem like you enjoyed it.
No, I thought it was funny. It had something to do with a cape, and
Yeah,
then it was like
yeah.
a
They were gonna
what
start a restaurant in the bar
right,
and
which they
and
kinda did that a little bit. They did an episode like that.
oh, that's funny. I don't know. I did, but yeah, they start a restaurant in the bar. They're trying to, and of course, things go sideways. And I think in my spec, like Dennis is also having a beef with a parking cop, and so like
Mhm.
the B plot, and that and all kind of comes together, of course, because that's how it has to be. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's
Speaking of coming together, you know what
hey,
also comes together?
what
Comic books and, awesome snacks that
what?
are involve cryptic monsters and just a little hint of mystical magic.
Tell me more.
I know, right? You like that transition I just did? That was off the cuff.
I love it.
Well, I mean, look. I'm going to tell you more about Duff and Shaw snacks. Now, whether it's their limited edition gummy army guys or their 2 foot long gummy anaconda, Duff and Shaw's snacks and candy are curated from the most mysterious and undiscovered places on planet Earth.
What?
Look, here's what you need to do. You need to head on over to duffandshaw.com/issues today and check out all they've got and more. Again, that's duffandshaw.com/issues for the most legendary snacks in the world. And it helps out
Right.
the podcast and it helps us out. And yes, you get good snacks. We get good, help from the sponsor and everybody's happy.
Yep. Like I said, it's a win-win-win. We all win.
We all
Um,
win.
And speaking of helping out the podcast, this is where we're going to change things up. Feel free to follow us on social media at We Got Issues or the BComp or We Got Issues Cast or any of those, and let us know what you would like for our next episode. If you want to hear a deep dive on Spider-Man 2099, like I would love to tackle, or perhaps you want to hear
Mhm.
something more like Absolute Batman, which is a more contemporary title, let us know, and we have no problem doing it.
Yeah, and again, we're on
Yeah.
Instagram and Blue Sky, and Brian, you're on Instagram, Blue Sky, and uh, X or whatever it's called, Twitter
The
X,
artist formerly known as Twitter.
Twitter X. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't even use that, but yeah, I'm there. Um,
Mhm.
so Josh, what are we doing?
Well, like you said before, we are tackling Invincible Omnibus 2.
Hmm.
Now, for all our diehard fans who have been listening to us from the beginning, will be like, wait a second, haven't they already talked about Invincible? Yes, we
Yeah,
covered Invincible Omnibus number 1, and we thought
compendium number one.
the compendium,
Compendium.
excuse me, Omnibus
Yeah.
Compendium, tomato, tomato.
Mm.
Um, but we thought we'd just head back into the world of Mark Grayson and Invincible and see how you know the adventures have been stacking up. Also just comparatively to the show that just finished their season as well. So
Yeah, it's the fourth season
um,
just wrapped, right?
it did. So I mean, we thought it was a good time to head back into the image verse, the Kirk,
Mm.
the image verse, and what episode what was the episode that we did the first one on? It was like
It
what?
was episode 8, and that's where we tackled the
Oh,
first compendium. And like I said, we kind of got into all of the back history of the creative team, the back history of how the book came together. So if you're kind of looking for that, information, we're not going to regurgitate or rehash it here. Just go back to listen to episode 8 and kind of dig into that. But for now, we're just going to focus on this and get right into it. So with that,
yeah.
Josh, you're the invincible guy here. Would you do me the honor of reading the blurb on the back?
It's my turn to do the blurb on the back. That's great. So here's the blurb on the back for the compendium number 2. The best superhero comic book in the universe. Ever since Mark Grayson got superpowers, life has never been the same. As Invincible, he's fought the universe's most dangerous villains, graduated high school, got a girlfriend, 2 of them, and
Mm.
his father, the world's greatest superhero, Omni-Man, revealed himself to be an alien conqueror bent on taking over Earth. Now, then, Invincible has been working for the Global Defense Agency, fighting their fights, saving the world in their name. Until now. Invincible can no longer follow their orders unquestioned. Now he finds himself up against the very organization that he's been fighting for, and war looms on the horizon.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Really quickly, it was written by Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead fame, drawn by Ryan Ottley. This nearly 1,200-page compendium dropped back in 2013 and has basically been in print ever since. It reprints issues 48 through 96 of the Invincible series, as well as the one-shot Invincible Returns and issue 11 of the Astonishing Wolfman.
And then all these issues were published between the months of February 2008 and October 2012. So we're covering what, almost 4 years or
Yeah,
more than four
basically
years
more than 4 years.
of it.
It's about 50 issues altogether, plus or,
Yeah,
a little minus on that.
and like you said, that it's been printed, but you can also get this pretty easily on Libby. I mean,
Okay.
depending on
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I actually borrowed it on Libby so I could read on my iPad at night when I was, like, trying to get some research done and couldn't have the nightlight on.
same here. I got it on Libby as well, so it was
There
great.
we
And then
go.
it's it's on Comixology, and if like you see it now and it's a little bit too expensive, or you don't have Libby or something, this is around the time that they start doing sales on Comixology. So keep an eye
Nice.
out for that. You can even probably just get the individual trades as well.
The individual trades are really cheap, and, the compendium is usually you can find that under $40, like, 'cause, like,
Yeah,
Amazon's always trying to push this out because it's obviously an Amazon show that they're doing with it. So you always find the
yeah.
compendiums pretty I will say I have the first couple of the volumes in the giant oversized library editions, not the
Mm,
hardcovers, but, like, the oversized, like, super oversized, so it's like I will say, and, we're not really spoiling anything, but, like, some of the fights in that huge double spreads are beautiful in that library
nice.
edition, especially when he takes on Conquest, but,
Yeah,
let's get into
we'll
it.
get into that more. Yeah. Uh, um, so as we noted the first time, almost all the arcs of this compendium were named after TV shows, and they're typically in about 6 to 8 issue chunks.
Yeah,
So we're gonna really because again, like Brian, you said, there's a lot of issues that we kind of researched and went over. That's why we kind of took a little bit longer to get this one out. We're gonna kind of cover it in like with the arcs. We're not gonna go for each issue or each,
yeah. Oh, we'd be here all
I
night.
think we're gonna kind of we're gonna do not
This is already a long podcast. Are you
right,
crazy?
exactly. So it's gonna be we're not we're gonna deep diving, call out highlights and everything, but this is just something to help you get into the book and maybe read it on your own as well, and then give you some insight or stuff on behind the scenes, or whatever call outs that we can do. So the first kind of chunk we're going to talk about is issues 48 through 53. It's called Who's the Boss?
Tony Danza.
Mona.
Oh, Mona.
um no, I think it was Mona, but that's me.
It probably was. I don't know. I just know Tony
I
Danza
don't
was
know.
in it.
I just know I just know that joke's from Community.
Oh, my bad.
um so if there's some, it's
Yeah,
like
I was trying to
crunching.
grab a piece of candy, and that was me.
Yeah, and you're like Werther's original old person.
It's an
um
airhead. It's one of my kids' airheads.
all right, so
Keep going.
yeah,
Don't
we'll keep going. I'm gonna keep
no,
this
don't
in.
edit that out.
No, I will not edit this out. This is all this. I'm gonna shame you. But yeah. So it starts with it starts out with Cecil versus Mark. As all the heroes are taken um underground and kind of captured by this Dr. Seismic, I think his name is, or something like that.
Yeah,
And he's been showing up as like he showed up a lot in the first compendium too. I think he's like one of the first villains
villains.
that Mark kind of fought by himself. And they're like in a bad place. So
Yes.
um all the heroes don't know it, because this is like this is like Savage Dragon is in there, the
Mhm,
Wolfman,
mhm.
all the other image like heroes excuse me,
Yeah,
are
oh,
captured
y
until Cecil comes in with a cavalry, but it's not really like a good cavalry, if you will. It's like he comes in with Reanimin, who, if you remember from previous issues, where like dead corpses that are reanimated from the scientist D.A. Sinclair, who even
mhm,
it started taking like living people,
mhm.
and he became like super strong and stuff. So it's like an army of Reanimin, but also uh Darkwing,
Yes.
and he's also previously in other issues. Basically, he was a murderer in Midnight City, and Mark like had stopped him. So it's basically Cecil's coming with like this army of just
People
bad
with
people,
questionable backgrounds.
very questionable, and like who Mark has like personally have to deal with.
Yeah.
So he is, after like they are all safe and stuff, he is beyond pissed. He's like, "What is going on? Um why are you using these villains, and after all the stuff they've done?" And Cecil's like, "Well, you've kind of done some shit too, Mark.
Yeah.
Like that
You
is
killed
completely
Angstrom
different."
Levy, like, remember? Or supposedly
Yeah,
killed Angstrom Levy.
right. And then he's thinking, he's that is different. And then they get into the heated argument, and then Cecil uses a implant that he had put in Mark's head to kind of like use a it's like a weakness for Viltrumites with their equilibrium and everything like
Yeah.
that. So uh Mark is freaking out. He gets help from the Guardians, and that all goes to say, like, Mark fights with Cecil. He quits, basically helping him out, and a lot of the Guardians quit as well. Like Rex, Explode, Robot,
Hmm.
and Eve,
This is
and everybody,
the
and then
Mortal quit.
Immortal stayed.
Oh, that's right.
Immortal
Mortal
stayed,
state.
and sort of with Kate,
Triplicate.
Duplicate, and
Or
Shapesmith.
is it I thought it was triplicate. My bad.
Triplicate, sorry, duplicate, triplicate, sorry, one of those.
I don't know. You're probably right.
No,
Um,
one of those. I might be it because yeah, basically whatever her name. Sorry, there's so many names and so many characters in this. Should have had better notes on that, so that's my bad.
well,
But we'll
to be
keep going.
fair, Kirkman is kind of the king of like bad pun names, and I don't mean that
Yeah,
in a bad way. I mean like kaboomerang or dinosaurus or
yeah.
whatever. It's like they're just like they're all over the place. He's like he tosses out names left and right. They're kind of fun.
Oh no, yeah,
Um,
so it is duplicate
oh my bad.
because triplicate girl is actually a Legion of Superhero.
I was gonna say it's Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, yeah. But okay,
Oh, I don't know
so
everything.
duplicate. I know what the hell, Brian. What I
Well,
have you here for? No.
well,
So
some
yeah. So Mark goes out on his own. He gets a cool new costume. He's black and blue because he's in his independent phase,
phase, yeah.
um and he gets back together with Adam Eve, which is awesome.
Mm.
And then we also find out, as you alluded to, Angstrom Levy is still alive, and he's
Yeah,
secretly spying on Mark with these like little T spheres.
yeah.
And uh Mark begins training Oliver because Oliver becomes like Kid Omni Man, and that actually leads to Oliver killing the Mahler twins. Who
Which he has no regrets about. He's like, "Yep,
not at all. I mean,
cool."
he says it's an accident, but then you kind of see like
He
you
goes
see a
for it.
little bit of his dad in there, so you
Just a
see
little
a
bit.
little bit of the Omni part of the Kid Omni Man.
I have a question for you on that. Where do you
Yeah,
stand when it comes to superheroes sort of killing each other, or not killing each other, but like killing their villains, or just general bad dudes? I mean, is it a slippery slope? Do you think it depends on what they do? I mean, like one of the I'm going to kind of get into this in a second, but it's like one of the things I would look at it is like, okay, Batman is like doesn't kill. You
right.
have Captain America who will kill on occasion, and then you have the Punisher who just kills everybody. Where do you kind of feel about all that, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I think it really involves how the, just involves the character in a
Yeah.
sense. So like a lot of people think Superman is boring because he doesn't kill, or Batman is wrong because he doesn't kill. And I think that's completely wrong. And I think
Mhm,
that's for people who don't understand the character, like people
mhm.
want like Zack Snyder did not understand both
Oh, no, he
characters.
did not, yeah.
So
He's like,
so
"My Batman kills. I don't know what little world you're living
yeah,
in."
which and I've seen that argument, for the non-killing done really well in so many ways where it's like it is a slippery slope. It's like
Yeah,
you're taking the hard way, or the easy way. Like he's like, no, this is like if I go down that path, I'll never get out of that path. He's already
mm,
teetering, like Batman, excuse me. It's already teetering on that edge, and if he goes
mm.
down that dark path, he can never come back from that,
Mhm.
and it goes against everything he's trying to fight against. And
Yeah,
Superman, if he goes down that route, what stops him from becoming a tyrant?
or
A
Homelander
la
or whatever.
Injustice.
Yeah, or Injustice or Homelander or any sort of authoritarian figure. Yeah, I guess what it comes down to is like, Captain America, he's a soldier ultimately, and he had to kill
Right.
people in World War II. And he's also like there's that famous arc where he has to fight Baron Blood, who's this like vampire Nazi, and like he has no choice. He just pulls out his shield and decapitates the dude with his shield. And like that's as Captain America in the modern age. And I guess, like,
Yeah.
it comes down to maybe it's, like, the I don't wanna say lack of oversight, but, like, Batman is a vigilante ultimately. He's not operating within the confines of the law, and so he has no one to, like, reprimand him or do whatever if he goes that far. Captain America, arguably, he works within the law, he works for the government, he's an agent of SHIELD, so maybe there's, like, that thing of, like, well, there is systems in place to, like, "Okay, you didn't have a choice, we're gonna" it's like almost like an officer-involved shooting kinda thing, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's the answer, but I think that's why I let something like Captain America slide because he is sort of, like, working at least for another body, whereas, like, Batman, Superman, and, Invincible is actually an exception to that because he does work for Cecil under that
Mhm.
Guardians, the under the defense global defense, whatever the hell it's called. So I don't know, it's just interesting. Like I don't know. I think that there's certain people that need to be taken out. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know why, like, Batman has a hard on to, like, keep the Joker alive. Like we just saw in
Mhm.
that Hush arc where literally, Jason Todd comes to kill him and like Batman shoots at Jason Todd to defend the I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know.
Are you mean Gordon shoots Batman?
No, I'm talking about Batman. Batman shoots Jason Todd when Jason Todd in Hush 2,
Oh,
remember?
Hush
Like,
2. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
he
When you
shoots
said
at
Hush, I thought
Jason.
you were talking about the
Oh,
first Hush because, when
it's the most
Gordon
recent Hush.
shoots
Yeah.
at Batman
You're
to
right, he
stop
does that
him
too.
from yeah.
He shoots his wing off, or
Yeah, yeah.
great
His
shot, Gordon.
ear.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a proper answer. I mean, like I said, I enjoy reading Punisher comics, but I don't want the Punisher to exist in real life. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
and then Punisher on its core is a sociopath, like, serial killer.
yeah, he is. He is. He absolutely is. He just happens to kill bad guys.
Yeah, he's Dexter
Uh,
Morgan
yeah, yeah, or yeah, exactly. He's
or proto
so
Dexter Morgan.
it's just more of a question. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if there's an answer. It's just kind of I was curious where you kind of line up with that. It's
I just there's also just the difference between a hero and a vigilante too,
yeah.
and I
Well, and
mean,
again, like technically, Invincible isn't a vigilante. He works with the
no, yeah.
government. He's not. He's not.
Well,
He's
not
still
anymore.
operating with. Not well after this. He's not. But up to this
Yeah.
point, he has been working for essentially Shield. For lack of a better word, Nick Fury.
But also, he
Uh,
doesn't just kill, though, too. He does it very much as a last resort,
yeah. Well, and
and
that's the thing. Angstrom Levy wasn't going to stop. And I kind of
no.
don't blame him.
It's the Wonder Woman Maxwell Lord,
Yeah,
situation.
or it's like I said, it's the Captain America Baron Blood thing. It's like, yeah, you have a
Yeah.
vampire Nazi who's not gonna stop. You're not gonna correct that guy. Like, you just probably need to take the trash out? Oh,
Yeah.
one interesting side note, you'd mentioned that, like I said, Invincible or Mark gets a new costume, the black and blue one. I was doing a little research on it, and, that was designed during Comic-Con 2007. It was Ryan Ottley, Cory Walker, and Kirkman were up in their hotel room, like, "Okay, we gotta come up with a new costume," and, like, Ryan Otley's like, "Dude, I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed." And so Cory Walker and Ryan were working on it, and Rob Liefeld walked in, and they, like, were working with Rob Liefeld, "Oh, that's really cool," and, like, he drew a sketch, and there's a bunch of, like, behind the scenes in the library, but it's just an interesting little side note, they're like, "Ryan, come back," and he's like, It's 11. I've been sketching all day. I'm going to
Hmm.
bed."
Oh, man.
Anyway,
Imagine
let's move
Rob
on.
Liefeld being I mean,
Actually,
if
I
Rob
will say
Liefeld
I
was, like, fully, like, the design of it, you would never hear, the
Well,
end of
he
it.
wasn't. He wasn't. They'd already
Yeah,
sketched
yeah.
it out, and he just
No,
like,
thank
"Oh," and
goodness.
so they included his sketch that he included. It was like it wasn't for Rob Liefeld, it wasn't bad. I mean, it's a very
Hmm,
bare bones, like, "Oh, he just drew it on a napkin" kinda sketch, but it was like, "That's actually not bad." And you know
that's
me, I'm
good.
not a Liefeld guy.
Hey, did Liefeld, create Deadpool? Because I don't think he's ever mentioned it.
I don't know. He might have created this guy named, Wade Wilson,
Wade Wilson, yeah.
Deathpool, not Deathstroke, Deadpool. I don't know, maybe?
Youngblood. Um, well,
Move
yeah,
on.
it's just funny what, comes out of, um, procrastination and just, at the 11th hour. That's kinda funny.
Mother was it
Yeah.
necessity is the mother of
Innovation
invention.
is oh, yeah, that's what yeah.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of
Ugh.
invention. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
joke.
goodness.
All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah, so moving on to this is the next section, which is issues 54 through 59, plus Astonishing Wolfman number 11, which is another creation of Kirkman. And that section is called Happy Days. Sunday, Monday,
Happy
Happy Days.
Yes. Not gonna sing in here. Can't afford
Nope, nope, not gonna sing it. Not gonna, trying hard not to.
it.
Okay, okay, it's fast. Okay, I
There we go.
popped a vein, but we're good. Um, Yeah, so this one starts out with Mark and Eve going on a date because they've been trying, to go on and dates and stuff, but it's just like superhero stuff has been happening, and because Mark is not working for the government, he has to go like on patrol now and dealing with Oliver and all this stuff is kind of like in his head. So they finally go out and to a date in
And super
Paris,
stuff
but
happens
yeah, of course, stuff happens. I just like how it just like starts to glow, and he's like, "Don't look to the side." Like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, they finally,
because they're in like Paris or something like that,
yeah, they're
right?
in Paris. Yeah, um, and Mark ends up in the future and and he's forced to kill like this mysterious king who's taken over everything in the society. It's like 700 years in the future, and now Brian, tell us who ends up being the king that he has to like find and kill?
Who else is gonna be immortal?
It's
Immortal
immortal.
is, ironically enough, immortal and still alive 700 years in the future and has lost
Right.
all touch of his humanity at this point.
Now, did when you were reading it the first time, did you think it was like was that a surprise that it was the immortal, or like did you think? I thought when I was first reading, it's like, oh, what if it's another Viltrumite because they lived
Yeah.
for so long.
No, I wasn't shocked. I mean, here's the thing. This is about I mean, I have almost all these issues up to about 90, so I know I read them at some point, but, like, it was so far removed. So when I was reading it again in the compendium, I was kinda like, "I don't remember," and so it was like I got to,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's immortal. Okay." I wasn't like, "Oh" yeah, I wasn't shocked by it. I wasn't like,
No,
"Oh my
gotcha.
god, twist." It was just like, that makes sense. Yeah, immortal would be around still.
I gotcha. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, I know. Like, yeah, when I thought it's like, oh, like, yeah.
I mean, keep in mind when you deal with futures, and these are technically alternate futures, so it's not a set in stone future.
Right.
So as we know with Marvel Comics, there's so many different alternate futures. So yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about like, oh well, it wasn't the Viltrumite, so that means it's like I don't care,
No,
no big
it
deal.
was fine. I was just like, it was pleasantly surprised it was the immortal.
Yeah, that's
Like,
cool.
for some reason, I didn't think of it. It's like the Vandal Savage problem, not problem, but the
Yes,
Vandal
yeah,
Savage of it all.
that's
Um,
exactly it.
yeah, and I did like how they were like, yeah, we tried the ink from the Constitution to
Mhm.
poison him, and that didn't work. And then it ends up just like Mark just like pulls his head off. He's like, all right, you just need to separate this
Keep
and
the
the
head
body.
away from the body.
Yeah, and just
I've
bury
removed
it.
it
You'll be
for
good.
you. You're good.
Yeah, and the little the not the foreshadowing, but just like the whole timey wimey thing of it. Just at the beginning of the issue, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take these clothes, thanks," and then he ends up doing that later. Um,
Yeah. No, it was I it, it's a fine full circle time travel adventure. It's a nice little
yeah,
one-off. Um, yeah, it was good. Like I said, it seems like what I liked about this is we're rekindling like his relationship with Adam Eve, and I'm
yeah,
glad that they're rebuilding that because I really like Adam Eve. I like I I don't know where it all ends up. I know where it ends up by the end of this compendium, but I'm glad to see that they're still strong and together because to be honest, like, and we're not spoiling it, we're spoiling the whole book at this point. Like they go through some shit in this book, like
very much. This is
especially
like
Adam
the
Eve.
big one. Yeah, this one is
Yeah,
the big one for both of them, but yeah, especially Adam Eve.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not spoiling, but she has to get an abortion. She has a major weight gain because she thinks she's lost her man. She like almost dies several times. Mark almost dies
Mhm.
several times. It's like they really put this couple through the ringer, and through it all, like they're like, I still love you. I love you so much. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. And it was
Yeah,
really nice to see that like strong bond between the two of them. And I don't know what happens in the third compendium. I don't know where they end up, but I swear, like,
I
I
do.
hope. Oh, yeah. Duh.
I'm kidding.
It's funny,
Yeah.
I have the 3rd Compendium just sitting on my bookshelf. I'm like, "No, I'm waiting, so I'll wait to read it until we actually do the next episode." But
Next
I
year.
really yeah, exactly. It probably will be. I like the healthy nature they have with one another, and I
That's what I
like
was
that
about to say too. Yeah, I agree. I like how Eve she's not written as the typical like, oh, why you have to go and be a superhero all
yeah,
the time? Why not? She's like, which is a trope that kind of is used a lot
yeah,
in comics like that. But she's just like, dude, I'm a superhero too. I know
yeah,
stuff pops up. You're all good. Like,
yeah.
let's go deal with it.
Well, and I like that she's also proactive as well, as we'll finally talk about a little bit later on. Like when she realized like Mark doesn't have a job, she's like, "Here, I'm going to
Yeah,
set up a business for us. And not only am I going to set up a business for us, like I'm going to make sure that we save the money. That way we can buy a house or property and we can have a place to live and grow old together." I really just like her forward thinking and all of that.
yeah,
I also like, later on, I don't even write it in the notes, but there's, when Mark's old girlfriend, gets physically beaten
abused.
by
Yeah,
her, yeah, abused by her boyfriend. She's like, "Go," and he just like, Mark just takes off to like help her out, and she's not like threatened by that person,
right.
or by the his previous flame or his ex. So I really like her character a lot. I think she's one of the more fully developed, or at least in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not a whatever, but I like her character a lot, and I'm glad to see that they've kept, instead of just like, and this is no offense to Ron Mars, we didn't fridge her. You kill her to
Yeah,
like, oh, now we've given them give that motivation. They do that, like in the sense that they do the fake out death a lot with her, or they she gets injured, but they do that with everybody. They do that with Oliver. They do that with his dad. So or he has visions that he thinks like like they're all going to get killed on Earth, and like that motivates him. But they never go to that next step with it, which I'm glad about.
yeah, and what's also great too, she has like a quick 2-issue spinoff too, if you
Yeah,
even
yeah. It's in the
more like, and then she has her own like mini series as well. That was like a gap in between seasons for on the
yeah.
Amazon show.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say there is a 4th compendium, which is a collection of all the Adam Eve specials, the Rexplode stuff,
Mhm.
all the Guardians of the Guardians of the Globe miniseries, and there's a few other ones in there as well. But it's only half the size of one of these compendiums. But maybe we'll do that as like an extra, a bonus
Yeah,
episode or something like that. Or maybe we'll do it if we ever get to a Patreon, we'll do it as a Patreon. Hey,
there we go. Yeah, down the line,
yeah. If we ever get enough
business.
people to be willing to actually pay us to do what we
I know, right? Yeah, it's the dream. But yeah, so at the end of the date, we move on to what's happening in the other side of the universe, which is actually Alan, the alien, and Omni Man are both prisoners from the Viltrumites, and they become friends because Alan is telepathic, and they
do. Yeah.
have these conversations and stuff. And what's great too is just how Nolan is surprising Alan by
Uh-huh.
being different from any other Viltrumite, which showing like he has compassion, and he's
Mhm.
you know just showing even more of how different he is from, and how much he's breaking away from traditional Viltrumites, and just how so like they're basically waiting for Nolan to be executed, and he has to be
Mhm.
like fully healed to be executed, basically beaten to death by 2 Viltrumites. So
Mhm.
they uh sorry, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question that. So,
Hmm.
obviously, we see various Viltrumites have changed. There's gonna be Thaddeus down the road. We see that this happens with, Nolan, that he's like obviously changed, and that was another thing I was
Hmm.
gonna say. I like that Nolan's arc is one of growth. He's realized he messed up and he's trying to redeem himself ultimately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's trying to be a good person. At least I don't know, maybe there's another twist coming on down the road that I don't know about,
Well,
but at least
it's
at this point. What's up?
what I'm agreeing. Like it's great that he's trying to change his
Uh-huh.
ways, because but it's also that internal struggle, because that's
Yeah.
what's been implanted into himself like
Yeah.
deeply, just as
Well,
this Viltrumite
it's his
culture and
genetic
everything.
code, man. It's
Yeah,
who they are. I mean, and not even genetic
literally.
code, but that's yeah, yeah. There's a but I was gonna say those, and again, not I'm getting ahead of myself, but we do see a little bit of this, because later on the Viltrum, I won't get into this, but the
Well,
Viltrumites are gonna
yeah.
basically get into Earth, and one of the Viltrumites, like, they're told like, you do not save these people, like you're just here to live and hide. And one of them's like, no, I got to get into the action. Like I want to save some of these people. So I wonder if like the key thing there is humanity. If they're the linchpin that is like sort of like the virus that changes Viltrumites. I don't know. I'm just
It,
posing that
that'll
question.
be that'll be shown more, I think, in the next compendium and stuff.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, it definitely it is brought back up. Let's
Okay.
just I don't want to spoil too much, but yes,
No, no, no.
it's definitely, yeah.
I don't mind spoiling this book. Don't spoil the next book though.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah. But
You kind of
I'm just raising
see what
I'm just
happens.
raising these questions because it's like this is what I'm
Yeah,
noticing is like plot threads or little like little noted things.
yeah,
I will say I do like Alan and Omni Man or Nolan's relationship. I think it's really fun.
yeah. It's almost what's that movie with Robert De Niro? Midnight.
Casino, no,
No, no, no, not Casino.
Goodfellas,
No.
Heat,
Uh, no, 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 no. What is it?
Dirty Grandpa,
No, what is that one? I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I can't. I'm totally.
Meet the
But it.
Fockers.
Oh man, that's like yeah. We're just gonna go all through all of them.
Random Robert De Niro movie, Raging
Yeah,
Bull.
yeah. Raging Bull. With the Irishman. Um,
Are you talking about Midnight Run?
is it Midnight Run? Yeah,
Where he's on the road, he's like a bondsman, and he's gotta
yeah,
bring a
exactly. The
criminal
Midnight Run. Yeah, that's what it
yeah, I think
is.
it's Midnight Run, yeah, yeah. I think it's Midnight Run,
Has
right?
Midnight Run um like quality to me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, it is
funny.
Midnight Run. Yeah.
Oh, it's
It
cool.
just feels like that. It feels like a little Midnight Run-ish to me, like, or the Odd
Yeah.
Couple
Yeah. Well,
a little bit.
yeah, I was gonna say, it's just a fun dynamic, and I'm glad that they kinda keep that parallel going
Yeah.
for quite a bit
They
until
it's like
something.
or another buddy cop type of thing.
Mhm.
But but basically they break out of the prison with also help of everybody's favorite feline friend Battle Beast,
Battle Beast.
who's amazing. He's
Okay.
awesome every time.
Okay, I
And
mean, it's another do not spoil anything for me on this because, like, I'm enjoying the Battle Beast comic a lot right now, and I'm
yeah,
like, "This doesn't end well," and then I saw, like, an image of Thrag, and I was like with something, I was like, "That better not be who I think it is," and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't wanna spoil
yeah,
anything, but I was like,
no.
I'm really enjoying Battle Beast.
Yeah, no, he is so cool. And then in the show,
He's like Worf on crack, you
dude,
know?
dude, you know what's even crazy? You know what's even awesome that you just said that?
What?
Michael Dorn does his voice in the Invincible show.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, swear to
Dude, that's
God.
awesome.
That's hilarious you just said that.
That's amazing.
That's amazing you just said that because yeah, I was just gonna say Worf himself does his voice in the Invincible comic.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
But anyway,
so
yeah,
Battle
Battle
Beast
Beast
is
is a book
badass.
is awesome.
But so they break out of prison and like this is where Nolan Omni Man reveals like one of the biggest secrets that it's out there about Viltrumites in that um the their society, their army is not what everybody thinks it is. There is actually less than 50 purebred Viltrumites total left.
That's not
And
good.
that is not great at all. And that's kind of like the key to like
Their
what could
defeat.
eventually stop them. And that's
Yeah.
why like they took so long to try to kill Nolan because they didn't have enough people to get there.
To be fair, though, the Viltrumites that are left are all pretty
They're
A-level
cream of the crop.
badass.
It's just
Yeah.
like it's very much X-Men Apocalypse type of character. It's a survival
Yeah.
of the fittest type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that again. Holy hell, man. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Like
we'd
times
mentioned yeah,
3
Tim's yeah,
basically.
I was gonna say, Wolfman shows up in this. I thought that arc was fine. It's a little bit I felt like the Wolfman arc in there was just a way to, "Hey,
I think
I'm writing this other book. You should
right,
go check
exactly.
this
It's like
out."
Kirkman's like, "Hey, I got a Astonishing Wolfman. It's pretty cool." I know it
Yeah,
kind of showed him before with that the Dr. Seismic stuff, but
yeah. Which I will say Kirkman's kind of the king on that stuff where he's like, "Let's put Tech Jacket in here." And he's
yeah.
pretty good at like cross-pollinating or, like it's like he's I don't want to say he's a businessman first because he's not, but he's very business oriented. He writes
Yeah.
everything like knowing writing for the
They're
trade. He's
self-aware.
writing. Yeah, he's like, I know this is going to be an arc, and that he's like his Walking Dead is like everything is written in basically 6 issue arcs, as he knows that's how they're going to be traded out,
Mhm.
in trade paperbacks. Like he's got a good business acumen, is what I'm trying to get at. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I will say he's pretty good about that. But that being said, I didn't think the Wolfman arc was all that like
It
necessary.
was an
I
issue,
did.
right? It
It's
was just
two.
one issue. Oh, 2
It's two.
issues?
It's Invincible and then the Astonishing Wolfman. So it's
Mm.
like that crossover stuff. Um, I did like we mentioned like Eve setting up that business so they can be an
So
on call
speaking of
superhero.
business, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was actually going to talk about this in a second, but what do you think about heroes? Because being a hero isn't cheap. Not every superhero is a billionaire. Not all of us can be Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you feel about heroes like, hey, I'm going to charge you to save your life? What do you think
That one
about
that's
that?
a little yeah, that's that part of the job I think is a little, ethical, type of thing, but there's also
Yeah.
just
Well,
there's
there's
things
Power Man
that
and
you
Iron Fist.
I was about to say
Heroes for
heroes for
hire.
hire stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but that's also like that's not really um like, "Oh, somebody's in trouble, I'm gonna save him." It's kind of like, I need you to help me out with a job or something." Like, it's more of like I'm the
Y-
mercenary, basically. It's a mercenary,
Yeah.
but for good.
I think the way Eve described it was like, look, he's gonna save the world, and like, but hey, if like some villain comes pouncing into your prison, we will be there to help you out before the government gets there. Unless, of course,
Mhm.
there's a world-ending catastrophe, in which case, sorry, you're SOL.
Right.
Yeah, it's again, it's sort of like that like that ethical question of like murder. It's like this, like, well, I also understand, like, it ain't cheap being a superhero and replacing these costumes, and you still have bills to pay and have to get a roof over your head. And if that's your full time job, well, a job you get paid for. So I think Eve does it the best way possible. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
basically on retainer, if you're having a problem, we'll come out and help you out. But it's just it's how else are they going to make money? I mean, it's not it's not a charity, I guess.
Which
Kind of is.
I think questions like this bring a lot of fans to Invincible, that not only is it
Yeah.
just like a separate type of, superhero alternative that you can read, but it's also they
Yeah.
bring up these questions of, morality of mercenary or of killing or, thing
Well, there's a sense of
how far
realism
is too
to it.
far.
It's a sense of real, and the only other book that really kind of delved into that, I think, was like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man
Yeah.
constantly, Peter Parker's always dealing with that fact, like, how am I going to pay the bills? It's like Spider-Man is being great, but I still have, he balances that, work life. Well, he doesn't balance that work life balance. It's pretty bad,
Right.
but that's a constant theme within most Spider-Man books is how does he pay the bills as well as save people? And we see a little bit of that here, and I think like
Yeah.
to your point though, what's good is like this is very much a comic book world, but there's a sense of realness and brutality to it, whether it's the realness of like really having to pay bills or be the realness of like if you punch a person in the face, your hand is going to go through them. You know what I mean? So that's I think like to your point why people are gravitate towards this book is just its unflinching look at some of this stuff.
Yeah. And it brings those questions though to the fans as well. Like, it doesn't answer them for you, if that
No.
makes sense too. Like, it keeps it
Yeah.
open enough to you can make your own decisions and your own just your own views on it as well.
Well, I was gonna say to that end too, like that's one thing I will say Kirkman's pretty good about like doing is like he'll write himself into a corner and then it's like he doesn't rely too often on the Deus Ex Machina to like save like the literal god in the machine that comes in out of nowhere and saves the day at the last second. Oh, thank goodness this magical ability just no, not pointing fingers at any particular writer. Right, Mega Blenders.
Yeah.
But he's pretty good about like, well, we're in this corner and there's no other way to get out of it except for someone has to die or and so or it's like you have to go to an extreme. And I think he's pretty good about doing that with this book. And
Mhm.
it's definitely appealing. It's refreshing at the very least.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Uh, so just moving on to the next stuff. Angstrom Levy then we kind of reveals what he's been planning, and he shows that he has a bunch of different evil Mark Graysons from alt realities. Because if you remember, like his power basically is to jump into different dimensions, kind of like a weird Kang, if you will.
Well, he's the one who, if I recall, he's responsible for throwing Mark into the actual proper 616 Marvel universe, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and then their fight, and then also Mark into that alternate future as well too. That in that that barren wasteland that kind of
Mhm.
catalyst for Mark getting together with Adam Eve.
Well, and that kinda goes to my point earlier when I said the alternate future, like, that was a possible alternate future. So
Right.
this one with Immortal where it's a possible alternate future where that happens, you know?
For sure. So, what I did like all the different designs of the marks and
Yeah.
um, all the different looks, and the you can tell by just how his costume is, by just how that character is in a sense of like, there's one in a full Viltrumite
Mhm.
look. There's one in like
He looks like an
those
acid
aliens.
bath victim.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's one that's like it looks like those aliens that keep uh
The
trying
sequence
to.
or
No, no, the other one, the ones that
oh, the
keep trying to.
Flaxians?
The Flaxians, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like that kind of armor. So I thought it was really cool, kind of just quick looks
Well, and one of
of
those
all those.
costumes was where some of them are the alternate takes of the black and blue costume, that
Hmm.
they were designed when they were sketching out ideas, like, some of them came up there again, so just a
Oh,
little
nice.
side note, yeah.
Uh, and this is also something I feel like we talked about this too in the last episode that we talked about Invincible, but like the TV show
Mhm.
really kind of uh really marinated on this for a while. Like it was built up more and more and more.
Mhm.
And I think like it seems like this show is like another. It's like Kirkman's second chance, basically. Like he's able to
Yeah,
expand on stuff. He's able to kind of like rework stuff that he wanted, he thought could be better. So I
yeah.
thought like this part where in the show it just builds up a little bit better because it's not just like a, oh hey, here's a bunch of invincibles. Like they kind of show like little bits and pieces of those different universes where those different marks come from.
It's funny you should mention this because that is the one, like, kinda criticism I had. It's like, this actually goes into the next arc, but, um, the actual book or the arc Invincible War, it's in
Uh-huh.
the next arc we're about to talk about, but it's like, it's all relegated to one issue. It's one issue. Now
Yeah.
it's an oversized issue, but I was just like, dude, you had a chance. This should have been a 6 episode arc or a 6 issue arc. You
Hmm.
to relegate. I mean, I know what he was kind of going for with it. I don't think it was the right decision, and I think you're right. If he did this in the show where they kind of built it up a little bit more and give us a little more background and more character, I think that was a smarter play because ultimately when all these evil marks show up, it's we find them all and it's like you get the little teaser in this arc and then it happens in the next arc and it's all takes place in one issue and then
Yeah.
it's done. And I'm just like, well, I don't want to say it was a letdown, but I was like, there was so much potential there that you just let go to the wayside. You just let it all go. And like, I'm not saying everything needs to be crafted as like, oh, those 6 issue arcs that we just kind of talked about. They like, but it's like that should have been that. That's what that
Yeah.
should have
A little
been.
bit more love. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I know we're gonna get into that in a moment, but
That's
I was
fine.
just like, like that was. I feel that that was a big misstep on Kirkman's part. So if you like you said, if he corrected it for the show, that was probably the right idea.
He does. He peppers it in like beginning of like the season that they have that in.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, and uh, but just before we get into Invincible, I think we should talk about the this is where Mark kind of fights Powerplex as well
Yeah,
in this arc. In Powerplex is like is somebody who worked at like a science lab, and he develops the powers to like absorb kinetic energy and like redirect it. And he is super angry with Mark because he lost his sister and niece during his fight with excuse me, Invincible's fight with Nolan.
yeah.
And so he kind of goes on this revenge kick against Invincible, and in that he accidentally kills his own wife and kid, which I think that is a little bit more important in Mark's development as a superhero because he figures that, like there's much more consequences to the
Yeah.
collateral damage of his fights.
Yeah.
It like personalizes it for him a little bit more, which
Yeah.
even is compounded later on after this Invincible War. But
Yeah.
then it also kind of helps him figure out like I can't fight everybody by just punching them. Like I have to find different ways
Y Yeah, and that's
of
really gonna come
fighting.
into play later on, I think,
Yeah.
that, like you said, you can't not everything is you'll think with your brain, not with your brawn, or, with your hands, not with your brain, not with your fists.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting that, again, like, this is sort of like a one issue, a one-off. Um, it definitely, like you said, it comes into play later on. I have mixed thoughts about it, but yeah, definitely tragic, it's definitely tragic.
Yeah.
I will say to your I will say to your point, it does, like you said, it adds a face to a little bit of, like you said, the collateral damage, which is something we sometimes get in other comics and sometimes we don't because, like, when buildings are falling over and people are getting killed and, and there's explosions, like, you don't really see that much in
Right.
mainstream comics unless you're doing like an origin story to a villain a la Powerplex. So it's like, on the one hand, it's like, well, we do see it in other comics. It's just not, fleshed out as much as I would say like maybe this is, but I digress. Um,
Yeah. But in it's just a great again, like, it's a great consequence, I think, and
yeah,
it's something, um, that usually doesn't kinda show up,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's doesn't come up usually that much.
yeah. The innocent bystander, how
Right.
does this affect the innocent bystander? Um, well, on that note, this is completely different, but I will say there was one little Easter egg that I caught in issue 58. Did you notice your boy Brock Sampson and Rusty Venture eating hot dogs?
I didn't catch that at all, no, I love these, like, these ones that you're catching, and my boy, that's these the Venture Brothers is your show, my man.
You like Venture Brothers?
I know, I do, but you are, like,
You
the fan like, as we're both, fans of
Venture
Invincible, like
21, man. That was dun, dun,
yeah,
Daddy's home.
that is one of my favorite moments of all television, like, that is amazing,
It was just cool.
I
Like, I
it
think
still cracks
I
me up every time.
it's the best. I was playing that for my kid the other day. But yeah, like, you literally just see Mark. I think Mark's walking by in front of a hot dog stand, and there's Brock and Rusty just eating hot dogs. I'm like, that's a great little cameo. No other reason, just little cameo there. Just
Yeah.
Ryan Otley being cute. So anyway, let's move on from there.
Moving on to the aforementioned Invincible War. This is the issue 60 through 65, and the arc is called Still Standing. Like I said, it starts with the Invincible War, which is like there's 16 alternate reality Invincibles like attack all the heroes in the Image universe, and then all the heroes have to unite to stop them. So it kind of shows how crazy powerful Mark is, but also how crazy
Yeah.
powerful some of the other heroes in the Imageverse are. Like he's fighting Savage. I mean, they are fighting Savage Dragon, Spawn,
Spawn gets a one kill,
Cape.
gets a one panel,
Yeah, he gets
like a
one
one panel.
panel, and then I like the that Invincible says like I killed you in my universe, so I'm gonna kill you again. So it means like that Mark is killed Spawn before or is
Yeah,
capable of. And then
I
capes,
think
and
it
then
was
tech
was it like
jackets. Sorry.
was it doesn't like Ripclaw or Pit or someone like
Yeah,
rips like Mark's
Pit
head off or some yeah, is it Pit?
Pit
Yeah.
does. Yeah, he like like yeah, was
Just like
crushes his
Pit
head and
grabs his
like
mouth and his jaw
throw
just
yeah
rips him open.
yeah, and then you see Darkhawk, not
Yeah,
Darkhawk, sorry,
Shadowhawk. Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk. There's so many hawks. Like good lord, Shadowhawk and you see Youngblood. That
Mhm.
team is in there uh, fighting it. So
It's a
it's funny to
it's a
see
good
who wins, who
reminder that
doesn't.
technically there is an Image superhero universe, and they're all kind of in that same world,
Yeah,
although they're also kinda not. They have their own, like, separate reality that doesn't it's not like the Marvel of the DC universe where it's like, oh, like all of this takes place in the same universe. It's like it's kind of like, yeah, there is an input. There's not like really that through line. There's not like an
yeah,
editorial like, it's like, if you have Spawn's here, but it actually didn't happen in Spawn comics or whatever. You know what
right,
I mean?
right, and like Witchblade and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
much like Image Comics himself. Like it's all these different artists and the creators had
Yeah.
their own universes within Image a little bit, and then came together
Yeah. The
for
way I
this.
kind of I was gonna say the kind of the way I look at it is almost like a Looney Tunes cartoon in a weird way. I know it sounds kind of a weird thing to say, but it's like, it's like, oh yeah, Daffy Duck, he shows up in this episode and Bugs will show up in this one, and then in the next episode they won't have had any history before, but it's like they're all like part of the same studio. You know what I mean? Like, and
Hmm.
they show up when they need to show up for whatever cartoon, even though they're not like sharing continuity. Does that make sense? That's kind of how I like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of internalize it at least. That's my headcanon at the very least.
They're punching the cards in for each.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And then the what's big about this as well is we see Rexplode sacrifices
Explode.
himself. Yeah,
Ex
explodes. Um, he sacrifices himself by basically kind of, because his powers, if you don't remember, is like he's pretty much Gambit. So
No, he's Gambit.
he charges his skeleton basically to uh take out the Invincible. And that, which I think, because at the same time Adam Eve got hurt bad by another Invincible, so there was kind of like a juxtaposition of him blowing up, and then Adam Eve going to the hospital,
Mhm.
and things like that, which I think for such a big character in this story, it seemed very buried in
Yeah,
everything that was going on.
it's funny because so yeah, Rexplode dies, and like he's been a major character up to the book to this point, and then yeah, it's kind of almost like I don't want to say it's a throwaway panel. I will say to their credit, to Kirkman and Otley's credit is like they do revisit the impact of that. It just takes them
Yeah.
like 5 issues to get there. And it's funny, like it was but it's because what happened, not again, not spoil, but Conquest comes in next, and that eats up the rest of the story, which for like 5
Mhm.
issues, which again, this should have been the arc, like this arc should have been that, and then Conquest should have been the arc right afterwards. But it's like Conquest comes in, that's taken care of, and then we have the funeral of Rexplode. And it to me though, it was like, oh my, wait a minute, did Rexplode die during like I actually forgot that he died in the Invincible War. I thought it was like, did Conquest take him out? Like I had to go back and reread it to
Mhm.
remind myself, wait, where did Rexplode die? Oh, it was wait, that was like 8 issues ago. You know what I mean? Like
Well, not
I
only
agree
that though,
with you.
too, like it was 8 issues ago, but it was also buried within that issue. It wasn't given
That's what
its
I mean,
own
like,
it
it was
wasn't
like a
given its
throwaway
own
panel.
page. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
given its own page. It wasn't given uh, its own like highlight in a sense.
mhm.
So maybe that's they were just kind of um, you know, uh illustrating kind of just the casualties of war like that, how there's so much
Well,
stuff that is going on, but
I mean, like I
it
said, it
just for a
was a
character like
double-sized
that.
issue, but, like, they probably were like, "We gotta go, we gotta move,"
Yeah.
like which again, I do agree, though, I think that he was kinda done dirty there in that regard, but, he does
Yeah.
get a huge funeral sequence later on, but whatever, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the funeral sequence kind of happens later on because, like, as you alluded to, and what we're moving on to is Conquest arrives pretty much right after this whole
No, yeah,
Invincible
it's
War.
it's
Like
right
they're
there.
still cleaning up
Mhm,
from it, and that's also in that cleanup. Mark, like I said before, Mark kind of gets more of an impact of the collateral damage that happens from
mhm,
stuff that he's involved in.
mhm.
Um, with the in the, so but Conquest comes in, and Conquest is a massive Viltrumite. He comes in old and he's scarred, and he has like a robotic hand and stuff. So he's been through
Wait, so he's Cable.
many battles. Yeah. Oh, he's Cable.
Think about it. He's an old dude who has a robot arm, who's scarred, white hair, scarred on his face, and he's got like an eye that's also, been blinded,
Oh,
and
yeah, I
he's a
can see the
badass orc.
similarities. Yeah, I can see the
No, no, no.
similarities. Yeah,
I actually know, like straight up, like Kirkman said, he's like, "Look, it's all coincidental. I'm just saying it's all coincidental. Am I
yeah,
saying that my favorite action hero in the '90s was that also that person? Maybe.
yeah. Wink, wink,
The
nudge,
only
nudge.
difference is the only difference is that he Conquest is balding and has a mustache. That is
Yeah.
the only but yeah, essentially he's Cable, or he's meant to be Cable, or like, or their
Mm,
take on Cable, but not Cable like the far flung future, but,
I was
yeah,
about to
they were
say,
doing
yeah, yeah.
it's an homage to Cable, basically.
I got you. Well, which is pretty cool. I mean, his design is actually pretty cool. And then, well, you see how old he is, and there's a thing that we'll go back. I mean, going back to the Viltrumites, they're a race that the older they get, the stronger they get too. So that kind of shows you how strong this character is, kind of right away as well.
Mhm,
But he comes in, and his job really, as in the name, is to conquer Earth. Like he's the cleanup crew, basically. If
mhm.
something is not happening, he comes in and he does it. He basically, makes sure the job gets done. And so
Well, he
he,
says to Mark right there, he's like, "Why
yeah,
haven't you started taking over the world? What's going on here, yo?"
yeah. Look, you haven't prepared the Earth for the Viltrumites to be taken over. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to take over now, and this leads to one of my favorite fights in comics. It's his fight it with Mark, and it's so brutal and and it's I think I've said this on other books and stuff. It's the whole like Mark does not get an ounce of like he doesn't get any rest. It's like one
Yep.
thing after another. It's really pushing him to the brink of just not only his his physical like exhaustion, but also it's also his mental capability.
Yeah, it's funny. This is, this goes back to my G4 days, but, like, Blair Butler, she had given me
Name drop.
the 3rd well, it is, it didn't drop. She'd given me, the 3rd library of these. She's like, "You have to have this," because she had an extra copy. She's like, "You have to have this because you need to see the Conquest fight in all of its glory." And in that 3rd one, it's like yeah, like you just said, it's like this goes on for like 5 issues, their fight. There's a
Yeah,
little bit of a reprieve here and there. Like you said, Adam Eve gets quote unquote killed, but actually just she's not dead. Like a little bit of that for a Jane almost. But then like literally Mark gets his arm broken, he gets his leg broken. He basically he's like, I have one weapon left and it's my forehead, and
yeah.
proceeds to just headbutt Conquest for like 20 panels. It just bam, is like, is that enough? Are you having
I
fun yet? Are you having fun yet? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
just
I
and it
love the
to the point.
layout of those panels too, which it was is
Yes.
used as a background for like this
Yeah.
big kind of like shot of Mark just like his face all bloody and
Yeah.
him over conquest, and it's the whole background of the issue of excuse me those 2 pages are those panels.
It's funny, I don't talk much about coloring when it comes to comics, but I will say the reds of the blood were
Yeah.
really, really good. It's a dark crimson red, and it's like, oh, this is where it's like, again, we talked about how like this kind of book steps out of the shadow of like, of Marvel or DC superhero comics. Like this is moments like this are what the reason it's able to do that, because it does not hold any punches back. It just goes
He,
for it.
and just the impact that conquest has of he comes in and they start fighting, but the impact he has on the story is pretty crazy. I like how he's there just to fight. Like, like the whole like
Yeah.
there's no timeouts. Like you can't are you trying I'm not gonna give you a chance to surrender or talk.
Yeah.
I want this fight. And then
Yeah.
uh how brutal the whole fight is. Like he almost tears Oliver in half.
He just
He
well,
puts
later
his
on,
hand through
that is
Adam Eve.
yeah.
He
I was gonna
uses
say
like
the
his
other
hand
thing
as a
too is
spear.
yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that it was funny. They brought in a Marvel editor to talk about like what would happen in a Marvel book versus this book. Why does that happen? Because in a Marvel book, you can show a person getting punched, but you can't have the follow through all the way through. Like for example, if someone gets
Mhm.
shot, you can see them get shot, but you can't see the exit wound. And it's the same with like someone getting punched. You can't see the hand going all the way through the chest. And that is one thing they do in Invincible, man. People get punctured left and right in this book. You know what I mean?
It's
If
it's a difference between
full on through.
PG-13 and rated R, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's the image of Conquest's face after Mark is done headbutting it. It's like
Yeah.
it looks like a watermelon that got mushed in. You know what I mean? Like it looks like
Yeah.
literally like a cantaloupe that got smushed inward, like like and collapsed in on itself, like concave. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
concave or concave. I think it's concave. Anyway, yeah, like, it's brutal. It is brutal, and it is, like I said, it is,
It's a
like you said,
it
rated R.
Yeah, it's effectively brutal too. It's not
Yeah.
just brutal for brutal's sake, or just gore for gore's sake too. It's effective and
Yes,
shows the
I would
impact
agree with
of
that.
like their. But it's like, I mean, one of my favorite just like pages is just that first kind of like the first panel, basically of them flying at each other. I think is
Yeah.
really it's just a cool kind of image to start the fight, like where Conquest is just like, or Mark is just like, all this has happened. I just really need to hit something as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And then Conquest is like, bring it on, little boy.
I was to say, this is where also Kirkman starts falling in love with the double page spreads. You'll start to notice, like in
Yeah.
this arc, it's double, like it's like a full just double page spread of like Conquest looking, right down the barrel of the camera, like, yeah, bring it on, or like you said, that punch of him punching Conquest's hand and shattering because it's a robot
Yeah.
hand and shattering through it and all that. It's this is what I was kinda getting at. I was like, this is the kind of stuff that should have been in the Invincible War. Like, it should have been this
Hmm.
kind of stuff in Invincible War, where he's fighting all of these, evil versions of himself essentially. Then you should get a respite, and then Conquest shows up, or Conquest right on the tip of that, Conquest shows up. It's like, "Oh, you thought it was easy? You thought you got a hit break? Yeah, you're in for it now, pal." You know what I mean? Like, I feel like yeah, I'm sorry. I'm again, if I'm making an issue, I have an issue with something, it's that
Yeah.
that Invincible War should have been a much longer, arc.
Which it definitely does get more of its due in the show. So if you need
Yeah.
that itch scratched, I would
Scratch.
check out
Yeah.
the show. Uh, well, moving on from, so again, eventually he beats Conquest by headbutting the shit out of his face.
Yes.
Um, and so um, he sees that because Adam Eve is so when
Powers.
Conquest basically, well, I mean, well, just to go kind of back, like Conquest basically kills Adam Eve, but then her powers kind of like
Regenerator.
regenerate her because of like mental blocks have like gone away.
Yeah.
And she also like uses like this huge like energy beam that kind of fries Conquest like half of his skin and stuff. But
Yeah.
Mark Mark sees that she's still alive, and he's just like, okay, and they kind of falls into a coma for a few days because of
Yeah.
just everything kind of
Intensity.
the intensity of that fight, but also the intensity of everything before that.
Yeah.
Um, Later on, Invincible and the heroes, all the Image Universe heroes, attend Rexplode's funeral,
Mhm.
and
Which we finally get our
uh,
due that we were talking about.
yeah, I think because also it's just like I think even just
Need
the
a
world of
break.
Invincible has that break finally,
Yeah.
and um, if we also see that Adam Eve's powers are on the fritz, really
Mhm.
because like it's kind of like her whole body, her everything kind of restarted, so now it's just kind of like they're all on the fritz, and they don't stuff is like melting, things like that. So
Yeah.
stuff that she's made is now melting.
Mhm.
And we also find out that Conquest is actually still alive after all of this, and
Somehow, some way.
somehow, some way, and like an idiot of the government, the Cecil has him being held, like because he thinks he can still keep him like under wrap, or like imprisonment, so
He has
trying to
him buried
find
under
more info.
400 tons of concrete, I believe. He's like, "That should be enough to hold him."
Yeah, like you
Sure,
would
and
think,
they tell Mark, "Yeah, you killed him. Here's the body. Here's a fake
right?
body, but it's a body." Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna come back to haunt them at all.
No, that's a decision that's not gonna come back and bite them in the ass. But yeah, overall, I think I think this conquest fight, it was one of the moments that kind of really made me love this book. Like there's
Mhm.
like two kind of like big moments for me. It's when Nolan
Reveals himself.
reveals himself. You have that change of the Superman
Yeah.
prototype, and then also there's this conquest fight.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So what's the
Um,
next arc then?
so the next arc is issues 66 through 70, plus Invincible returns, and this is called Growing Pains. And now we go away from Earth again. We go back to the Nolan and Alan bromance,
Mhm.
and they are really going through different ways that they're searching for different ways that can stop Viltrumites because
Yeah.
Nolan had even had like clues in his books
Yeah, we mentioned
that
that in
he
the last
wrote.
episode, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of just like of different ways. Yeah, the Viltrumites can be taken out, and so like they go basically just gearing up for an eventual war, basically.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, one of it, yeah, it's like the space racer with the
yep,
that gun, and then
mhm.
those weird, not weird, but those predators that we talked about
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Yeah, super predators or whatever the hell they were called.
Um, and then this is also when we find out more about the scourge virus.
Mhm.
That this is the reason why there's only 50 Viltrumites total, is because the scourge virus basically decimated his whole people. And if you look at Viltrum, from way far back, there's like a ring around Viltrum, and you
Yeah.
think it's like a Saturn ring or something, but no, it's like
Nope.
it's their bodies of all the dead Viltrumites.
Yeah, which I love with how they use that later on, but,
Yeah,
um,
which
yeah,
is pretty freaking crazy. I think it's like both as a warning and a shame for the
yeah.
Viltrumites too. So it's like
Mhm.
absolutely crazy, but I do like their little scavenger hunt of like how to defeat Viltrumites with the different things and
I
stuff.
w
And
this is the first issue to actually, and this is issue 66, is the first issue to not actually feature Mark at all. It's just,
Mhm.
everything else either had, like, a little addendum at the beginning or the end. You know, always every issue had an issue, had some reference to Mark or had Mark in it. This is the first one where it's just Nolan and Alan, shrekking through the stars,
Yeah, which I honestly that'd be another fun book. Um, this Nolan and Ellen, with Guardian of the Galaxy. No, but uh, so then we go after that. We go back to Earth and we meet Dinosaurus and
Mhm.
Universa. Both kind of will um, be
Make
bigger
an impact
parts
later.
later. Um, and lo and behold, guess who escapes, Brian? I'll give you one
Uh,
guess.
I don't know. It can't be Conquest. He was buried beneath 400 tons of rock. There's no way he could have escaped.
You would
You
think,
got
right? I mean, Cecil
Mhm.
thought that too, but guess what? He
He
escapes like
escapes he
easily.
escape he escapes like he's ripping through tissue paper.
Yeah, he escapes like he like sneezed his way out of there. Um,
I was like, "Gee, didn't see that coming or anybody else."
no, like why are these Legos on top of me right now? We also learn Mazel Tov that Eve is pregnant, which is
Mhm.
a big
Part of the
deal.
reason part of the reason her powers are on the fritz, or
Yes.
we find that out rather, but yeah.
And after that, the sequence attack again. This is like
Mhm.
what, the third, fourth time.
Them and the Flaxians, man, they just keep just
I
showing
know.
up.
It's almost like his like it's like the filler or transition
Yeah,
story that
yeah.
he's used. Uh but with this time Mark like kills their leader because uh
He
without
doesn't see another
doing
way
that,
out of it.
yeah, there's no way out of it. They'll keep coming, and then um it's just like there's no way out of it. There's nothing they can do except killing the leader, which he kind of has that moral conundrum about.
Well, he regrets it, and everyone kinda shames him for it, like, "What were you doing? We could have figured something out." I don't
Yeah,
know, like, I'm kinda like, maybe, but maybe not when you're dealing with a mind-controlling Starro the Conqueror, essentially, that's just gonna take over everybody's brain. They did
for the
which
third time.
Yeah, which they already did on Mars, you know what I mean? So it's kinda like,
Yeah,
I don't know, like, I'm not saying, like, again, I ain't saying killing's good. Sometimes, though, there's really no options. Is that one of these cases? Not sure. It is a slippery slope and all that, and I think that's what everyone's trying to get at. It's like, "We would've figured something out." Well, you needed to
yeah.
figure it out yesterday 'cause, you're in some trouble, but what does this eventually lead to? Like, because of him doing this, he has a crisis of conscience, and what ends up happening?
Well, then he almost kills Titan,
Yeah, that's right.
and after that, I mean, he basically just decides, I'm done with the black and blue. I'm done with my emo phase.
Yep.
He goes back to his traditional yellow and blue costume, and really decides to hold off on kind of relying on punching and
Yeah,
just on killing his enemies. And then
yeah,
also we get a little a scare with Robot and the last sequid that he kind of coughs up in the shower and then
that's right,
kills.
and stomps on him.
And it's kind of like Kirkman's way too of saying like, okay, I'm done with them. Like he
Yes,
stomps it out. And it's like, all right, that's the end.
done, we're done. Let's not rely on that trope anymore. We also get
Right.
a first appearance of, Grand Regent Thrag,
You mean
if I'm
Freddie
not
Mercury?
mistaken. Is that Yes, that's right. That's who it looks like. Oh, man, I've been trying to I was like, "Who the seriously?" Yes, straight up mustache Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
That's
Freddie Mercury.
exactly
He's
Oh my
he's
god,
super
thank
Freddie
you.
Mercury. Da 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 da
Thank
da da
you.
da.
Oh my god, I've been sitting there, I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "No, it's not. This person's not." Until you just said that, I literally oh my god, thank you. Thank you, Josh. That's exactly who's right. He looks like straight up '80s prime Freddie Mercury, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's great, that's great. Well, I was gonna ask, what's your take on Thrag? You a fan? You
I
not
think
a fan? What are you
I
thinking?
think Thrag is pretty badass and
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Like,
Well, so we're about to find out even more.
yeah, but like when you are the toughest
Yeah.
badass of a race
Oh, badasses.
of badasses, like that's pretty crazy. Like especially
Yeah.
so like you are the absolute cream of the crop of like Superman.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and he's basically like bred for war. He's bred to take over and
Yeah.
everything. So it's like he literally born for this,
Mhm.
born for combat from a race that are known for conquering in combat. It's
Mhm. For conquest, if you will.
oh my god, that's how it worked. He's just even though yes, I mean he's Freddie Mercury, but he's still like his look too is just very
Yeah.
lack of a better word like regent. Like he's very
Yeah, it is. It's regal, it's very
he-
regal.
I mean yeah regal. That's the word. But he also is like for that first shot, he's looking down on you.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
he's a very big dude.
yeah,
Um, I will say, you a couple side notes, did you know Dinosaurus was actually named after Kirkman's 3-year-old child?
I did not know that. That's crazy, and it kind of
Yeah,
makes
he said
sense.
he was playing with his kid, and his kid's like, "And this is Dinosaurus." He's like, "Uh-huh." And he, like, literally said 3 minutes later, I was on the phone with Ryan, "I got an idea."
Yeah.
And also, another little cameo in there, the dude and Walter from The Big Lebowski are in the crowd shot when the sequins attack, so if you look carefully, you can find the dude in there. It's a little in issue
Oh,
70, so
all these little Easter eggs.
I'm gonna add a little color. I may not be the Invincible fan you are, but I'm,
No, it's a Where's Waldo?
it's essentially it is Where's Waldo. There's quite a bit. There's a big one coming up later on, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Do you wanna the Viltrumite War, which is, you know, this is
Yeah,
it.
yeah. This is kind of like, this is the big thing. Um, that we for the compendium. I mean there's stuff after this, but this is kind of like
Moment.
um the big crescendo really. So like Nolan and Alan arrive on Earth to recruit for their war. They talk to Tech Jacket, who's
Mhm.
kind of like
Another Kirkman property.
he's a Kirkman property. He's like Iron Man slash Star Lord slash like Stars and
Darkhawk
Stripe.
slash yeah, anybody who's got some kind of alien entity
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Darkhawk is a good
yeah,
Marvel Darkhawk. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like it's so many hawks. Um so Mark and Oliver head off to into space with him to fight the Viltrumites after, like this is Nolan's first time back in on Earth too after everything
Yes.
that's happened too. So this is like
He's a little
he
reticent to show up.
yeah, but also I mean like with Debbie and
Yeah.
uh um that's a great kind of back and forth because it's like he basically last time she saw him he was calling her his pet
A
like
pet.
he was
His
nothing.
pet. Yeah.
Um and just it's it's kind of like a just a crazy like, "Ooh,
Yeah, a little awkward.
sorry, can we go fight now?" These
Yeah.
Viltrumites.
He's got game though. He manages to talk his way back into that.
He does, he does. So that's which is also kind of crazy. But yeah, they recruit Tech Jacket and then go off to space. Basically, just go and fight. Start this. Fight these Viltrumites because this is kind of like they've never had a better shot than now. Basically,
Yeah.
on their way though, they're ambushed by now who's a recent Viltrumite that just kind of got away from this supposedly impenetrable prison.
It
Who
can't
it
be
can't
conquest.
can't be Conquest, right?
Ugh,
Oh, well,
you'd
yep,
think.
nope, it's Conquest. I
Yeah.
don't know, big surprise. So,
Big Rock.
Mark, they're ambushed by Conquest, and this comes a brutal fight part two. Like,
Yes.
and Mark now actually does kill Conquest by uh choking him to death. But it's like this whole like isn't just like in a sleeper hold or anything. Like he's choking him and Conquest is taking him for a ride. Like it's
Oh yeah,
like
he is smashing him through the ground, like the
smashing him. He's
dragging
doing
him through a foreign
anything he can. Like there's that huge the uh splash page of just like the ditch.
land.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ditch, the land that he kind of pulls him through, and Mark is just not letting go, and he's and this is even like Conquest doing everything, and Conquest even like impales Mark and like
With his fist,
disembowels,
yeah. Yeah.
which is
Guts hanging out.
guts literally hanging out, but he's still holding on to his neck, and then Conquest eventually does die. Um, but with that, like Mark and Oliver and Nolan are all stranded on this planet, and Mark is very worse for wear, and he basically has to take like I guess like months to heal,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
they wrap
crazy that he even heals from it.
well, it's his Viltrumite DNA,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
yeah. And I think, like, yeah, the it was it, you know, Nolan wraps him up basically, he puts his guts back in, essentially, wraps him up with
yeah,
his own cape. It's like, "We just have to wait." Oliver's like, "This
yeah.
sucks. Let's eat some food."
Right, right. Well, and if they get some like nice kind of bonding time
Yeah.
that Oliver never had before with
Yeah.
Nolan, that Mark kind of had. Um, and it's like training and hunting and all this stuff.
I
While Mark is basically just trying to get back to life.
I will say I do like that, Nolan takes the moment to, like, bury Conquest, and, like, Oliver's like, "Why? He was our
Yeah,
enemy." He's like, "He may have been, but he was he was who he believed he was." It's like he was a better person than me in many ways. He wasn't a traitor to his people, and he fought for what he believed in. He deserves to have a proper burial. And I just like that, like, level of respect. Even though, he's turning on his people, he still recognizes, like, "Hey, like, I'm the bad guy here. I'm not I've turned my back on my people, but I'm not, I mean, I like that moment.
no, for sure, even more of the internal conflict that he has, like
Mhm.
with his own upbringing and stuff. Like like you said, like Conquest was who he was because that's all he knew, but that's also like that was me, like not even 5
Yeah.
years ago, basically,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and that just like yes, he was a horrible person, but like he was respected, and he had to give him the respect that he was hoping he would get
Mhm.
himself, in a way. Like, he
So
saw
where does
himself.
this eventually all lead to, though? That's the question. Does Mark live? Does he die?
He
Where
dies.
does
That's
this
the
go?
end of Invincible. That's
Oh,
it.
that's
We're
right. That
done
was
with
it?
the book.
Alright, well,
We're done with
those
the
are it.
book.
So be sure to like and subscribe. No,
Yeah. No, so Mark eventually does heal, but while he's healing, like this war is still going on. The Thrag kind of leads the Viltrumites
mhm,
against the coalition of planets, and really it's like wrecking them.
yeah,
Because the coalition are trying their best, but it's like they don't have the firepower, basically.
yeah.
Um, And uh Nolan and Oliver and Mark finally kind of come back because Mark is finally like able to fight, and they the Viltrumites are like, okay, we're peacing out, bye. Like,
Yeah.
oh
It's like, "Well, sure, you got backup."
yeah,
Ah.
because I mean it's not they do bring firepower, but Nolan also brings that knowledge that
Mhm.
does tip the just tips everything to their own favor now.
Yeah.
So uh with that though too, like with Tech Jacket and Alan kind of
Space Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
stow away on a Viltrum ship, kind of just seeing where they're going, and then the coalition's like heavy hitters arrive to Viltrum. Um, and that's just with that though. Like you were saying, you liked kind of how they use this ring around the planets. Like, how do they utilize that?
Well, since like you said, there's all these dead Viltrumites that are just, like, around the ring, and they're like, "Okay, I think we're here," and lo and behold, there's a couple of them, Viltrumites hiding within the dead bodies waiting for them to show up. It's like, "Yep, they're not stupid, you guys are."
Right.
Do you think but I will say, like, this is, like, pure action and violence, and again, you thought the Conquest fight was brutal, and it was, but that was more one-on-one. This is, this is, like, taken to the next level where it's just pure war?
Yeah, and you see more of like how brutal Thrag is and how
Yeah.
powerful he is,
Well,
which
because
is
yeah, he, like, straight up rips Oliver's arm off, like, just, "No problem.
yeah,
Get out of here, kid."
and he's just like you half breed
Yeah.
basically,
Well, he
and
also, like, the leader of, the coalition, Thaddeus, like, he's a former Viltrumite.
that is
"No
yeah.
problem." Just friggin rip his head off. "No, did you see
He
this? I did
rips
that."
his head off, yeah, which is also crazy because again, Thaddeus is a powerful Viltrumite in
Yeah,
himself for
he's
being,
yep.
but he does that. He rips off his head in like pure rage because of what Thaddeus, Nolan, and Mark do, which is basically with the help of Space Racer, they destroy Viltrum, the
They
planet.
fly through the planet like a bullet and
Yeah,
destroy it.
which is crazy. Um,
Yes.
and then from that, Thrag is just like, all right, you guys are next. So he basically destroy Nolan and Mark and leave Mark in a coma and Nolan just disemboweled. And but after that, like, he like abandons the fight like just suddenly.
He's like, "Yo,
Like
we gotta
it
go."
seemed like they have the upper hand, but he just like, I'm dead. Peace. Until next time.
Yeah.
Until next time. Um and so after the Mark comes out to the comes from the coma, which again he's like he went from one coma to another coma.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's where I was gonna say, we do see, especially when you read these issues back to back to back, you do see a lot of recurring things within Kirkman. Like you said, characters end up in comas, characters almost die, characters
yeah,
get disemboweled. It's like, there's only so many ways you can do certain things that are shocking, and you kind of do see a little bit of a repeat offenders in that regard. But that all said,
he,
continue.
and just a reminder too about Viltrumites too. They're a lot like on Dragon Ball Z Saiyans, where after they fight and they've been kind of or you brought to the brink of death and some like battle scars and stuff, they get stronger from that as well. So it's like both age and then like battle weary, they become stronger. So
Yeah,
Mark is getting, these with these near death experiences, he's getting these power boosts as that helps. So
over 9,000, right?
over 9,000. Um, so after Mark is back from a coma, he finds that his dad's okay, Oliver's back okay, and then now Alan is in charge of the coalition. He's taken over from Thaddeus, and
Yeah.
um, he gets back to Earth, and then he realizes that the Viltrum, or no, sorry, Alan tells him that the Viltrumites are on Earth.
Yeah, well, he has that realization, like, that's where they are, like, we
Right.
have to go back, like, they're gonna destroy my home world, we have to go
Go back.
now.
Yeah, like a
"Gotta go
almost
back,
like a
kid, we
planet for
gotta go
planet.
back." What's up?
Yeah, planet for planet thing.
Yeah, yeah, basically is what he's fearing, and that's where we see a lot again, like I hate to say, but it's a lot of fake outs right here, and this is one
Yeah,
thing that Kirkman does do. It's a J.J. Abrams from, The Rise of Skywalker was, like, a lot of fake outs, like, "Oh my god, they're all dead." Oh, no, it was just a vision that he
yeah.
had or
The
his
PTSD,
imagination. Yeah, exactly, which, he's he's not wrong to think that,
right?
um, but
But
when
I
they
do
get
like.
there. What's that?
Um, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just. I think we're going to the same thing where
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is not real. And Thrag is like, no, I'm really here.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm here, baby.
Yeah,
But I like that Thrag is kind of, again, sensible in this regard. So they get to Earth, Thrag's there, and he's like, "Yeah, we're already on Earth, and if you
uh
try and fight us right now, we're gonna destroy Earth. But I've got a proposition for you." Which is
yeah,
it was basically mutually assured destruction. If you destroy us, we're gonna destroy Earth. And so he's like, "Here's what we're gonna do. You let us live here. You guys are genetically pretty much purebreds to us, like genetically speaking. You let us live here, rebuild our empire. It's gonna take thousands of years, so you're not gonna see us, and we can then deal with it then." And when what do you do in that situation? Do
you
you let them
do
just
what Mark did. You can't really. He
yeah.
has no choice. There's no recourse. Like he's like, okay. He's like, what other choice do I have?
Yeah, it's like either you let them stay there and, like, become a part of our society, rebuild their ranks, which again is gonna take thousands of years, or you fight them then and there and lose everyone on Earth. I
Right.
mean, like, and again, this kinda goes into what I was talking about, like, this sort of, like, Deus Ex Machina thing where, like, Kirkman wrote him in not wrote him into a corner, but he wrote them into the corner. It's like, "Okay, what do you do now?" And it's like, you have to go with the hard choice. You gotta roll the hard 7 or whatever it's called because or not roll the hard 7, but you just gotta make that rough call, which is like, yeah, like, the alternative is that everyone dies.
Right.
No one's gonna save you in this situation, and so, yeah, you're stuck with the lesser of 2 or the better of 2 options. Yeah, I don't I'm mixing up my analogies at this point, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
tired. I'm really tired.
No, that's fine. But it just again, is there's no choice that Mark can have. Like, there's no like other
Yeah, like, or
recourse.
another
It's just you
alien's
have
gonna
to
show,
go.
"We got a secret gun that's gonna stop him," or, like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
have this secret new power you didn't know about," or whatever.
All
It's
right.
like, "Nope, you guys you win this round, we'll see what happens."
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, it's the peace treaty basically.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's
Uh,
mutually assured destruction. Like, if you do it, we're gonna do this, so let's not
and
do
it's
that.
and it's also interesting that Thrag does it with Mark and not with Nolan or with Alan or anybody else.
Well, because it's no, I mean, ultimately, it is, Mark's homeworld. Alan, as we'll
Yeah.
find out, has no loyalty to this planet, as we're gonna find out later on. Nolan, he's not human. Yeah, he has human kids and a human wife, ostensibly, but, like, this is the best representative of this planet is Mark, you know?
Yeah, but it's also I mean, Nolan and Alan, I think, are more the leadership position, and they went
Mhm.
with Mark because I think, like what you're saying, because Mark has that's his home planet.
Yeah.
Um, and after that, though, Nolan and Debbie reconcile,
Bum, chicka, bow wow.
unbelievably. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just funny, like the whole the pillow over the ears thing. I
Yes.
think that
I do I gotta go through there. Yeah, so one of the recurring themes in this book is whenever people are, doing it, there's always happens to it just happens to be someone in the room next door, and they're
right.
obviously so loud that the person's covering their ears up with pillows, and it happens all the time with various characters through,
Yeah.
it's the same shot every single time, but it works.
Yeah, yeah,
Stupid.
it's a funny, like, callback, because
Yeah,
Nolan had to go through that before.
yeah. We had to go
Um,
through with Alan, but then Oliver had to go through with Nolan.
yeah, which is which is, yeah, pretty,
Horrifying.
damaging for Oliver's psyche.
Yeah,
Uh, but, and then Mark and Eve get back together after, like, basically been months apart because of the whole
yeah,
war and, Mark almost dying,
yeah.
twice.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Alan, then finds, the scourge virus that
Yep.
Thaddeus had,
Which can
which
wipe out all Viltrumites.
all
Boom.
Viltrumites,
Done.
yeah. Like this certain strain is a more potent strain than the one
Yeah.
that was before. Like this one guarantees. the death of the remaining Viltrumites.
Um, Now, talking about this arc, like I said, this is kind of like this is a big one because it actually went 8 issues. Normally, these arcs go about 6 issues at most, sometimes it's 7, but this is a big one. It went 8 issues, and, in the eyes of most fans, like, this is the one of the best, or at least the best up to this point.
Mhm.
And I ask you, where do you think this arc, stacks up against the rest of the book at this point? Where does it stack up in terms of, like, how they adapted it? Did they adapt it for the show? How do you feel about all those things?
Well, so as far as the arc in the comic book, I think it is one of the better ones, like one of the top
Mhm.
ones, because it seems like um it's been something that's been leading up to with
Yeah.
the whole starting with the Nolan turn, and then um the different the the different appearances of the Viltrumites on Earth as
Yeah.
well, and stuff like it. I think everything's kind of been leading up to this big war, and it did. I think it did. It had its you had the moments that we were kind of looking for, in a sense of like it delivered on a lot of like oh crap moments,
Yeah.
and um, it definitely was a hard fought war too. Like there
Mhm.
was no like they blew up a planet, but
Yeah.
I mean,
They blew up a
granted,
planet.
it
People
was
got
like mostly
decapitated.
yeah, they were decapitated like yeah the leader of the coalition of planets, but then also like they blew up a planet that granted it was kind of
Yeah.
deserted, but it like with that it almost blew up Thrag's hope of rebuilding
Yeah.
their race, or rebuilding the empire.
No, I mean, you got characters getting disemboweled. You've got, like you said, Oliver getting his arm ripped off. You got characters getting killed. You've got a planets blowing up. You've got a horrible mutually assured destruction plot going on. The fact that also this is another thing, like I said, not only is it like 8 issues, but this is one of the few arcs that is not named after a TV show. It's sort of called the Viltrumite War.
Uh-huh.
Every other arc was named after like not an 80s comedy, but named after something like that. This is the one that's like, nope, this is set in this universe, you know, and we're letting you know how important this is. Um, yeah, it's definitely action packed, man. Like you get your money's worth in those issues. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and I mean, again, Thrag is just badass.
I'm assuming, and like I said, I haven't read past the compendium, too, but I'm assuming he becomes a main because one of the things that becomes a theme later on. Well, we're going to talk about this in a bit. Is we notice that he's not emperor. Thrag. He's grand regent, which means he's sort of
Hmm.
like in a holding position, essentially. Like, and we find out later on that he has, I want to say, a skull of the previous emperor,
Yeah.
and he's like, looking for the next person in the genetic bloodline for to take over, which is he really looking that hard as we find out? No.
Mm, more like it's a Lord of the Rings situation.
So,
Um,
yeah, but anyway, I
yeah, so
digress.
we'll get to that. So, in is moving on to the next section, which is issue 79 through 84. Get smart, and
Mhm.
this one we take a breather from all the violence and the action of the last one, because I mean that was a lot of stuff. But we get
Yeah.
into more of the deeper stuff. Which Adam Eve kind of reveals that she had an abortion.
Mhm.
And while Mark was away, and then William actually reveals that he was gay. He's gay.
Oh, okay.
Which
So I wonder
which
if
is great. Which
I wonder if that's a callback to whenever, like, Mark was flying him in the first few issues, and he's like, "This is so gay." Like, is that a callback to that? Like, or is that just Kirkman, like, going, "Yep, I shouldn't have said that," and I don't know.
maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, in the show they made him gay right off the bat,
Oh,
so I
that's
think
good.
that um and like and but hey, good for him. You live your truth and stuff, and then
Yeah.
Um, but then we go right into Dinosaurus destroying Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And he turns it to like basically that whole area to a strip
Solar
of
plant.
glass.
Yeah, like a solar plant, essentially.
Yeah. To
Um,
I'm doing air quotes, to help the
oh,
planet.
huh, I see. Yes, yes. Well. That's his way of doing it. I will say real quick before we go any further, I will say I liked how, when Eve, because in the previous arc, or we find out, or not arc, but we find out Eve, she had put on a lot of weight, and then we find out she has an abortion, and like, which it was obviously a traumatic experience for her, and as it is, but like, I like that, uh, Mark wasn't, like, mad at her, he was like, "I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you." Like, I like
Yeah.
that, again, kinda going back to what we were talking about, like, their relationship, there wasn't, like, a shittiness on his part to be like, "Why would you do that?" Or, "How come" he was just like, "I wish I had been here for you to support you." Like, I like that, like, I just like that moment, and I just didn't wanna glaze over that, but, anyway, um, yeah, you were saying Dinosaurus, yeah, he turns Vegas into a giant solar panel.
Yeah. Mm. That um Dinosaurs is different than normal. That's another thing too with these villains of like Invincible. Like the Viltrumites aren't your normal like big dude,
Mhm.
powerful guys. Like they're very tactical. They're very
Yeah.
strategic and everything. And Dinosaurs is a little bit like that, where it's like a parallel to Incredible Hulk a little
I was
bit.
gonna say it's Incredible Hulk that stays smart.
And it stays smart, yeah, he actually he gets smarter
Yeah.
because his original his base, guy, is not
He's
a scientist like
apathetic.
that. So,
Yeah, he's, like, apathetic.
yeah. Um, but, so after, destroys Vegas, Mark starts to use his brains over his brawn to help, like,
Mhm.
fight and, help his enemies because get a return of Universa.
Mhm.
And basically she's just trying to power her world, and
Yeah.
so Mark figures that out and is just like, why don't we just help you power
Yeah.
yourself to basically save your world instead of fighting. Like you don't need to take over ours, or there's no violence that needs to be really done. Like we can help you.
Literally, let's turn the lights off for 10 minutes. That's, like, what
Right.
the it was like, "Turn off the power for 10 minutes, and you can have that energy, and you can fix your planet." Oh,
Yeah,
okay, well, that worked out.
exactly. So yeah, and Rex takes over organizing all the superior teams, and kind of needs it after his time in the Flaxian dimension with Monster Girl. And we'll get
Mm.
more into that later. But basically, after a Flaxian invasion, him and Monster Girl go in and uh, are there and and then come out later. But they that's the way they stop the invasion again. So,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see, and we'll get into that, but that's actually a whole arc coming up, it's all the
yeah.
backstory on that. I do like, when Cecil was like, "Alright, hey, Mark, I got some stuff to tell you. I now before you choke me," like,
Yeah.
'cause up to this point, like, every time Cecil says something stupid to Mark, like, just Mark chokes him, like,
Right.
every single
Right.
time. He's like, but I love that he's like, "Now before you choke me, I got some bad news for you. Remember all those Invincibles that you fought? We took him and we turned him into Reanimen." He's like, "All right, well, that makes sense. You're not gonna choke me?" Like,
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know why, it just made me laugh.
Which is also just crazy. So, like, when they first did the reanimate, like the reanimated people were like on par almost with earlier Invincible. So
Yeah,
now you have
yeah.
Invincible reanimated. It's pretty crazy. And after that, though, Mark breaks Dinosaurus out of jail, and the two agree to work together to save the world.
Which, of course, pisses Cecil off, but what else is
Yes.
new?
Yeah. What else is new?
Um Yeah. Do you like Mark becoming, because at this point, like, Mark's like, "I'm gonna work with you, Dinosaurus. We're gonna use this to save the world." Do you like that Mark is being become more of a proactive hero at this point? I say this because, like, it he is taking the law into his own hands, and he's doing what he feels is right, but is this gonna work out for him? Or does he, again, like, kinda like the murder thing, does he require more oversight? Because this does become a slippery slope of authoritarianism where it's like, I'm going to decide for what's good for the planet, and I'd be damned with your laws or your rules or whatever. And so, what is your take on that, if you don't mind me asking?
I th- yeah, I understand it and I don't mind it only because like he's been through so much crap at this
Mhm,
to this point
mhm,
that he's also just in a position where he has all this pressure too of he has the Viltrumite, just that big shadow over him
Yeah.
this whole time as well.
Yeah.
That and multiple times it's shown that he can't trust Cecil or the government
Yeah.
or anybody else. So it's the whole Thrag situation where he's put into a corner where where he thinks this is his only decision or his only
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah. It's funny because like, they'll kind of broach this question with Superman comics every once in a while. It's like, "Well, why don't you just, the thing the polar ice caps are melting, or you know that there's ozone's depleting. Why don't you just fix it? You have the power." It's like, I can't do that. Like, this is the decision humanity has made. I'm not if I the moment I start making these changes, like, that's the moment they, A, stop taking care of themselves, and B, like, where do I stop? Where do I draw the line at, like,
Right.
what do I fix? And, like, honestly, it's like, you made this mess, like, you've gotta clean it up. You know what I mean? Like, you've gotta figure it out. It's just interesting. Again, I don't know if there's an easy answer or if there is an answer at all. It's just it's a moral question that I think it needs raising because once you think of yourself as infallible, and you do see this with Mark, where he's like, he gets mad at people for murdering, and then he murders. He does this thing, and
Right.
then so it's like, you could see this, like, this slide for him, him sliding into, like, well, I'm the smartest person in the room. You need to listen to me, and if you don't, well, I'm going to start murdering you. I don't know if that's going to happen with him, but you could see that happening. And I just raising the question. I'm not sure, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's the whole power responsibility thing.
Yeah, exactly. Another little side note Easter egg. Rick Grimes and Shane from The Walking Dead make an appearance in the comic. They were the police officers who investigated Dinosaurus' equipment in issue 81. I'm like,
Oh, that's kind of
that
crazy.
is, I'm like, they're in Georgia. Like, that's where Dinosaurus escapes or whatever. I'm like, well, nope, that's Rick and Shane from The Walking Dead. Again, I don't know if that was Kirkman's decision or Ryan Otley's. I'm like, look at Kirkman. Just he's got to keep that ball rolling.
It
So
it does seem like an Otley thing. It's like, hey, Robert, look what I did. And
yeah,
then,
yeah. But it's true. I'm like, yeah, and I think I'm like, yep, that's Rick Grimes. Like, not even a joke.
Rick, uh,
Carl.
and then Coral. So the next arc is called Family Ties. It's issues 85 through 90. Alan reveals that he's going to be using the Scourge virus on the planet Earth to wipe out the remaining Viltrumites once and for all. And even if it means because they don't know much about the Scourge virus, and this could
Yeah.
actually kill all of humanity as well because of
Uh-huh.
just how close genetically humanity is to the Viltrumites. And he
Uh-huh.
does not care. It's like it's the one planet
For billions,
for
billions of
billions.
dollars.
Yeah.
Because even yeah, he just said even Oliver's like, yeah, pull the trigger. Like Oliver
Yeah.
is just like, screw
Oliver's
them.
very the Oliver's like thought process or just he's just very he's matter of fact. He's very
Yeah.
very overly logical just because that's how
His
like
races.
his race is, which is funny. Just like his his mother's race, which the lifespan is so short, so they're very just like efficient and matter of fact,
Yeah.
and they remember everything. And then
Well, and he
also
also,
just the
as I
the
said, the other thing too is that they're so short that like life is almost meaningless. So it's like, who
yeah,
cares about it's like life doesn't
but
matter. We're dead in 3 weeks anyway.
mixed in with just the the genetic like thought and
Yeah.
wiring of a Viltrumite.
Yeah.
So it's like two very abnormal, not I don't want to say actually it's two very like cold personalities just
Yeah.
in this one little guy who is in his own back home race like he's already lived longer than most of the people on
Oh,
his
he's lived
home planet.
longer. Yeah, as I say, I mean, he's lived generations compared to his other planet at
Yeah.
this point.
But so after a lot of fighting like Nolan, Alan, Oliver, Mark, the Guardians, but Alan does make it to Earth with a virus and he's actually confronted by Thrag and
Ooh.
even more punching around. Oliver actually does accidentally spray Mark with the virus, and
Yo, great.
that's kind of crazy. And because of so that happened. So then Mark is now put into another coma. Um, and
And
to
so you start to
heal,
see the themes with
yeah,
Kirkman. I'm like, well, here it is
like
again.
Mark doesn't really like sleep through the night. He like sleeps through months, but um, uh, with that, uh, dinosaurs helps try to find like a cure for the scourge virus, or just really to
Mhm.
help Mark out, because Mark still has that human half that could
Yeah.
take him out of it. And while he's out, though, Bulletproof decides to kind of step up to the plate and become invincible for the foreseeable future, because his powers are not as strong as Mark's, but it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, he's
Super
Superman light.
strong. He's super strong. He can fly. Um, and while they are looking for the cure, helping out Mark, Thrag finds out that Mark is actually genetically heir to the Viltrumite Empire. Like
Dun
he
dun
is,
dun.
yeah, he is a match to the that skull that he has. And if Mark, is still alive, that means Thrag is out of the job. I mean, it's both Mark and Nolan. It's really from Nolan's
Yes.
bloodline.
Yeah.
Uh, So he's about to really just be like, oh, well, okay, easy peasy. He's already in coma. I'm going to kill him.
Yep.
Dinosaur steps in and the two duke it out. And like, Dinosaurs can barely match with Mark. So he definitely is outmatched against Thrag.
Thread.
Um,
I like that scene where he bites him and his teeth just shatter
yeah,
against
just
his
shatter
skin. I
like
was like,
nothing.
"Oh,
Like, Thrag doesn't even
I
move.
felt that in my soul."
Yeah. And, but like the thing with Dinosaurus though, he's very smart too. So he's
Yeah.
sets a lot of traps and basically forces Thrag away so they can get out. Um, and so I mean, what did you what first of all, what did you think of this family ties? Because again, we kind of little bit back into the action, back into like this little politics. Thrag makes his appearance, and what did you think about the reveal of Mark potentially being, he
Obviously,
is
Kirkman's
the royal,
yeah, I
you know.
like that Kirkman's setting up, like, bigger pieces or even more bigger pieces for down the road.
Mhm.
Obviously, Mark's gonna have some kind of destiny that we're not aware of at this point, but obviously it's going to play out as the book finishes up its next 30 or 40 issues that's left. Yeah, overall I thought it was a fine arc. It's like again, it's just like it's just kind of not towing the line, but it's like kind of keeping it going. I do think that Alan in Oliver, I'm like, y'all, like I think
Yeah,
you're being a little reactionary, here. You know what I mean? Like I get it, all the Viltrumites are on Earth, but they don't appear to be going anywhere. And even if one or two did, at this point you have enough firepower that you could probably take out two Viltrumites. You know what I mean? Like maybe slow your roll a little bit instead of just like racing off half cocked and like, we're gonna go kill Earth. It's like
right.
mm, but do you need to, Alan? Is that what you need to do, Oliver? Like, I don't know. I think it's a little reactionary. I get it, but it's also like, eh, I get it. But what about you, man?
No, yeah, I thought it was a good follow up. I mean, I thought it was interesting to see that how Mark is, next in line for the
Mhm.
empire that he doesn't even really even want. And Thrag, um he's gone from working with Mark. Now he wants to kill him again. And then I I like I'm a big fan of the Viltrumites. I think they're just an interesting kind of
Interesting race.
villain.
Yeah.
And the whole the position that
Well,
like I
it's
well, I
I
mean,
was gonna say it's because 'cause they're not like the mustache twirling villains, like, we're here to be
even though they have
evil." It's like,
great
no, they have
mustaches,
what's that? They do have
even though
great
they have great
mustaches.
mustaches, yeah,
They do have great mustaches. From Nolan to Conquest to, Freddie Mercury, man, they got 'em. No,
yeah,
but, it's not that typical, like, "I'm Doctor Do" even Doctor Doom, it's like, they're not even, like, evil like Doctor Doom. It's just like, no, this is, like it's very, like, this is who we are, like,
yeah,
you know, is that good? No, but you kinda get where they're coming from. I don't agree with it, but, I don't know.
and and they're very strategic. They're matter of
Yeah,
fact, and then right now they're in survival mode. So
yeah.
it's like That's why that's I understand the thinking that Alan has because Alan
Yeah.
is now like the leader of this coalition of
The
planets and
coalition of
this
yeah, planets.
like he's trying to nip this problem in the butt. You know, it's trying to get
Yeah.
ahead of this potential problem. I don't understand Oliver's
Well, and it's
motivation
funny,
to
and I think this is talked about in the next arc, but, like, even Oliver kind of admits, like, yeah, he's like, he starts to show human emotions, even though he's not human, he starts to develop those human emotions as he hangs out more and more with humanity, and I think even he's like, "Oh, yeah, maybe I was a little too aggressive with that." So, I don't know if, like, the cure for all of this is, like you just said, is it humanity or, maybe that's the true virus that, that's gonna take out the Viltrumites, I don't know, but it does seem like that is a recurring through line with a lot of, with the Viltrumite reactions, I guess.
yeah, and I mean with Alan too, you see the change that Nolan had.
Mhm.
You would think
Yeah.
maybe there's something there. So
Well, to be fair, in Thrag even it says this to Alan. It's like, "Hey, he literally says this like, dude, you are now in charge of these people. I get it. Being a leader sucks. You have this responsibility. I'm still not gonna let you do this, but I get where you're coming from." You know what I
yeah,
mean? And and again, like, kinda going back to, like, the Viltrumites are not they are bad, but, they're not, like, mustache twirling bad. They're like, "This is our way of life. Do you expect
yeah.
us to just roll over and die? Like, we're not gonna do that." You know?
Yeah, it's again, they're very interesting,
Oh,
villain with very layers. They're layered
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Anyway, what's so we have one last arc. What's happening with it?
I get it because it's called "What's
Ah,
Happening," and
whoa!
yeah, right. You're full of puns today. It's unbelievable.
Oof.
It's issues 91 through 96, and in this arc, excuse me, in this arc, Mark takes a back seat really to the rest of the characters in the book, and we focus on Bulletproof as Invincible, as well as what happened to Rex slash Robot and Monster Girl while they were in the Flaxian universe.
Mhm.
We see that Mark shatters his arm, punching Alan. His strength because um, his powers are all wackadoo from surviving the
Virus.
virus. So
Yeah.
like his strength is there, but not his invulnerability. So it's
No.
kind of like a um, it's like kind of like an Ultra Boy of Legion of Superheroes situation,
Mhm,
where
mhm.
he has like one power at a time in a sense.
Is that what ends up happening? Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm just saying like
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah, yeah.
because like
Yeah,
just
it's like,
see
yeah,
it.
you can fly, but you can't hold your breath, so
Right,
you don't
right,
wanna
right,
go into space
exactly.
per se.
So and in this arc too, we get the flashbacks of Rex and Amanda's time in the Flexing universe, which is around 700 years, which is
Yeah,
kind of
because time's
crazy.
different. Time is stretched differently there, even
Yeah,
though they say, "Oh, we were there for 12 years," even though it was, like, 700 years.
right, right. In that flashback, we kind of see that they led a revolution against the ruling family and like basically took over.
Yeah,
And but with that, they kind of grew apart
yeah,
as Rex tried to lead the world, and then Monster Girl wasn't really agreeing with
yeah.
how
He
what
was
he was
leading
doing.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, and then because of that, though, while in monster form, Monster Girl, I guess changes to a
Male.
male in monster form, and she ends up
Yes.
sleeping with one of the daughters of the ruling family, and gets that daughter pregnant. So
What?
I know. So of course, in true Invincible fashion, it comes back to bite them, where this whole new invasion really is led by the son of
Was it
this love child.
yeah, it's Mannix or something, or well, I forget what his
Yeah.
name was. Something like that, I forget what his name is.
And it looks pretty cool. It's like a cross of a Flaxen and the
And
monster
Monster Girl. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
monster
or
girl.
yeah, yeah.
Um and a lot of this too will lead into future books and stuff too. So
Oh,
like
cool, 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 cool.
as reading it, just keep in mind
Yeah.
of all
Well,
this.
was gonna say, I know I'm gonna get ahead of myself again, but, like, I will say when I was researching, like, each of the arcs, like, this is one of the arcs that, like, it was very divisive in the Invincible community. Some people are like, "I love I love the tr," and other people are like, "This is garbage. Why are we this is so boring. I wanna get back to Invincible." So it's interesting how it like, there was definitely a split within the community over reactions to this.
Yeah. And I think those are like knee jerk reactions, which I think if you ask
Mhm.
those same people again later,
Yeah.
might have different answers. So again, that's just
Interesting.
little like
Oh, teaser of what's gonna
yeah,
happen in Compendium 3.
teaser, yeah, things like that. And then also just with we get more of a backstory character development for Bulletproof with both of his parents and his girlfriend. She is mistrusting of him because he cheated on her. So, I
Well,
mean,
that's a good
that
reason.
goes with it. And then he has a brother, and his parents actually think his brother is a bigger hero or is the real
Yeah.
hero.
Um,
Uh,
I I will say, because like, they allude he's like, "Hey, I messed up that one time. I swore I'd never do it again." But when he meets Adam Eve and she's crying, she's like, "Are you hitting on me?" Or like, and he's like, "No, no." I'm like, "Well, wait, do you want me to?" I'm like,
yeah,
"You guy,
like,
man."
come on, man.
I literally she's like, "Well, you're not hitting on me." He's like, "No, no, no, of course not." "Well, unless you want me to." And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, that was a
Yeah,
mistake."
yeah. Dude kind of gets in his own way.
Yeah, he does. That said, I kinda like him a lot. Like, I was just like, I like that it's like that nice, like, feeling like, "Oh, yeah, this is another guy trying to fill the shoes of someone, who's obviously got a bigger power set than him." But I like that he's a little bit in over his head, and he's got his own, like, bullshit at home brewing, typical Peter Parker
Y-
style, like, you know?
You know what's kind of funny and just I don't know if he did this like subconsciously on purpose, but this is very reminiscent of just like the Iron Man Rhodey type of
Dynamic.
fill-in
Yeah, yeah,
dynamic and
yeah.
fill-in.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
So I mean, I don't know if you did that like subconsciously at the beginning, like the intro, but
Yeah. I
it
didn't
has
think of
that
that. It
kind of
must have been a
feel to it.
subconscious thing. Yeah, that's probably not. I'm not that clever.
No, yeah, yeah.
I wish I was.
Oh, we all wish
Um,
we could be.
oh, I know, yeah, but I'll take credit for it. How about that?
Hey, there you go.
Um, yeah, it's funny. I won't lie that while I didn't find this arc boring, I definitely found myself, "Okay, come on, come on, come on. Let's." I was like, "Oh, we're really just focusing on this flaxseed thing," which I didn't care for. I mean, like, I wasn't bad. It's just like, it's like I could take it or leave it. Like you said, saying that there's something it's gonna pay off down the road, that's great to know. I
Mm,
really do like the bulletproof angle. Like, I thought that was a lot more fun because it's hard to identify with a guy who's a robot that's lived 700 years on another planet with a woman who can turn into a monster. It's kind of hard, and like you're dealing with
yeah,
aliens, like it's not grounded enough. So I'm like I kind of don't care. It's a step beyond Game of Thrones where it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like it's just a little too far. Whereas like the bulletproof stuff where it's like he's trying to convince his parents that, oh yeah, my brother's the real hero and he's the one who's actually doing all the good stuff, and yet he's filling in for him, just so he doesn't break his parents' heart. Like, I thought, like,
yeah,
that was a lot more of a compelling story. I really enjoyed that aspect. That all said, like, it wasn't bad. It was just of all the arcs that we got through, the Flaxian robot slash monster girl was like, it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't again, it wasn't
you know,
bad. It just was,
I think also though it kind of like is as a part of that too is that is reading it as part of this big compendium where
Mhm.
this is the last arc of like 1,000
Yeah,
pages and
yeah.
you're starting to get to like the end. You're just like,
Come on.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I think it
exactly.
reads better in the volumes or doing the single issues when it's,
It's true, true. Well, and I hate to say, but it ends to end the volume on that note. It doesn't end on that like
right.
cliffhanger, like, what I mean? I hate to say it, like I know what they're going for. Like, it's like because it's a nice 50 issues like that you've collected, but it really should have ended one arc earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
know
'cause
exactly. Yeah, it should have ended on
the
the
Viltrumite stuff. And then it's
Viltrumite
like,
stuff. Yeah,
oh, crap, I gotta know what happens next. Then you open on this, like, so I think you're right. Reading in the compendium maybe isn't the best way to go about it. Or if you're gonna go right into the next compendium, that's fine. You know, that said, it's again not bad. It's just
yeah, it's not bad.
compared to all the other arcs that led to it, like it's like, oh, that's where we're gonna stop on. Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's fine, I guess. But
Well, And then speaking of just the arc, what did you feel about this whole compendium um as a whole? Because again, that was the last arc, kind of went through
Yeah.
everything. Like, what did you feel about it? Because did if this was this your first time reading all these stories out, almost
Yeah.
ready did you read them before?
So this is like I said, this is about where I dropped off on the comic book. Like I said, I have basically every issue up to about 90. There's like one or two missing here and there. But I have like all those issues like 1 through 90. And like I kind of fell off at the end a little bit because like I said, I was getting the trades from Blair Butler and I was just like, well, I don't need to buy the issues anymore. Biggest
Mhm.
mistake of my life because every single one of those damn issues is anywhere from 60 to $100 now.
Yeah. Goodness
Um,
gracious, yeah.
yeah, it's insane. Like, my Invincible collection is probably worth more than all of my other books put together. Like, that's not that, but it's like it's insane how much Invincible is worth right
Mhm.
now. Um, I literally traded 4 books in and got a Deadpool first appearance. Like, gladly given up Deadpool. It's like,
Yeah.
"Here, take the first appearance." I'm like, "Really? Really?" I was like, "Man, did I mess up?" Um, I needed that issue for my run, though, for New Mutants. But anyway, um I will say, like, it's the same thing I had, like, the last time we read the first command. It was like, I'm like, "Man, I kinda wanna read the next arc almost immediately." Like, I kinda wanna know what happens, but I'm like, "I'll wait until we do the episode next year." It left me, like, wanting more, you know? I like where this is going, he's not reinventing the wheel, he's just doing a really good story here, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, you wanna know what's going on with the scourge virus, you wanna know what's the next step too with the
Yeah,
Thrag stuff.
it's a really a good adult soap opera for lack of a better word, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because, like, there is such good relationships between characters, there's really good high stakes drama, you've got really good action, so it's like, yeah, it's a comic book for adults, and I mean that as, like, a superhero comic book for adults,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's got some kiddie stupid stuff in there, but overall, like, I'm like, "No, this is good," and I would probably give us the same exact rating I gave the first one. I think what we landed like somewhere like an A minus or yeah, I'd say like
Yeah.
an A minus or so. There's a few things here and there that I would change, but overall, I I'm kind of sad I didn't, like I said, I didn't finish that series out. So we'll
Mhm.
see where this all goes. What
I
about you,
yeah,
man?
no, I think it still held up, when I reread it.
Yeah,
I a lot of the stuff, yeah, I still kinda had it in recent memory too, so it was good
yeah,
just to kinda revisit stuff,
hmm
but it was yeah, no, I think everything was, great, like the Conquest fight,
yeah,
the Viltrumite War, the dinosaur stuff,
hmm
like, there's just, a lot of moments, a lot of things it was good revisiting. I do like this compendium more than the first one,
okay.
uh, just because of just the big moments that happened in this one, where the first one was leading up to this, you know, to this one, or a
I
lot
I
of
will
things that happened in this one.
I will say to that end, what I like the better about this, it's like obviously you have the big twists and turns, with the Nolan stuff in the first one. I will say the artwork is much more consistent and you see
Mhm.
Otley growing as an artist. Like as we talked about this in the first volume, how like, you look at issue, like I think he took over in issue 8 and
Mhm.
he's basically doing a carbon copy of Cory Walker, but in you look at like an issue 8 Otley and you look at an issue like 75 and it's like he has grown so much as an artist. You know what I mean? And he
Yeah.
only gets better and better as the book goes on. Um I will say, like I said, I've been, and we'll get into this when we get into like recommended reading, but you know, Kirkman's returning to this universe to do stuff like Battle Beast and Capes and all that. And it's like it makes me excited to read those books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
So,
agree, I
yeah.
agree. Again, it just like you said, it just compounds and makes you wanna read, more
Yeah.
and keep going, basically,
Yeah.
this whole set, what's great about Invincible is it's an easy one to keep going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it's not boring. There's no
Yeah.
there's some lulls, yeah, but overall, it's not it picks up a lot from when it kind of slows down, if that makes sense.
Well,
Like, you slow down, but then you go, like, right into hyperspeed.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing Kirkman does really well is, he doesn't usually bog it down with too much, like not dialogue, but like verbose panels. Like he is I don't want to say he's like the anti Chris Claremont, but Chris Claremont would like, and granted, it was a different writing style back then. You were writing assuming like one issue was the only thing they've ever read, so you have to cram all this stuff to explain in who every character is. You don't get any like not thought bubbles, but you don't get like those giant panels of like descriptor. It's like pretty much everything is dialogue that people are saying to one another, and so it moves cinematically in that regard. It's like dialogue, action. You know?
Mhm.
But, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's very, yeah, TV-esque.
Yeah,
Like you said,
it's
it's like very soap opera-esque and
yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of TVS, I haven't watched any of the show, but how does this book stack against the how does this latest season stack against the comic or vice versa? How does the comic stack against the TV show? Um,
yeah, I think the show, I mean, I think the show does well in adapting. So, like, there's a couple things that are different where like Kirkman is able to expand upon and
mhm.
kinda have a do-over a little bit
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah.
currently the show ends so far, like, the latest season has ended in at the end of the Viltrumite War,
Okay.
where Thrag basically is like, "Yeah, we're all on Earth, and, we're gonna we're gonna be here."
We
And
ain't
there's
going anywhere.
yeah, we ain't going it, but there's also, like, extra stuff. So, uh there's a full episode that's not in the comic books where it's like, who's the Hellboy, esque, character.
The detective, right? Was it like a
Yeah,
detective or
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that? Yeah, yeah,
Like the invincible version of Hellboy, basically, he's like, there's a
yeah.
whole big, like, battle in hell, and it's a whole
Okay,
episode about that, and Invincible helps out
okay.
with that, and that's not in the comic books at all. And
Well, that was gonna say, actually, that brings up a question that I had because, like, I had read that Kirkman said that this season was gonna deviate from the source material and, like,
yeah.
do stuff that he didn't even do in the book. Was there a lot of that, or was there a little bit of that, or
Well, I
and
mean,
and if so
as much as before. I mean, it
okay.
wasn't like, again, like we said, the Invincible War is expanded upon more. The Angstrom
Mhm.
Levy, uh, motivations expanded upon more. The uh,
Well, you said this
um,
Hellblazer, Hellboy thing?
yeah, yeah. I can't. I blanking on his name right now. But apologies, but yeah, there's like a
It's like
whole
It's like Doctor Occult or something like that, I forget what it was,
something
or
like that. Yeah, like in the comics, he just once Cecil takes him, puts him away, like he's gone. And then like he just comes. They had alluded to, and then they come back to it, and then little things here and there, but it's not
Damien
like
Darkblood. Damien Darkblood?
Damien Darkblood. That's what it was. I mean, little things here and there, and then stuff like
Mhm.
with dinosaurs is a little bit different.
Okay.
It's not crazy enough though, where you're just like, whoa, what are they going around? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Um, there's been some issues like throughout the whole show, though. It's been some issues with animation where
Yeah.
in some parts it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Um,
That's one of the things I will say I did see a lot of chatter about that on Reddit. Like there was like, and I think I talked to you before the show. It was like there was like a dragon's like flying. It's like it looked like someone
yeah,
pinched and zoomed on the page or on the animation panel. I saw a lot of people like trying to compare it with like Justice League Unlimited, saying like, look how bad Justice League Unlimited is. I'm like, and everyone
I
was like,
mean,
you are coping hard right now, dude.
yeah. There's like sometimes fans need to chill out. Yeah, yeah. Like you can like
Well, we
something, but you
can't.
can also criticize.
Well, I was gonna say you can also admit when it's not good or it's bad.
Right.
It's like you can have enough self-awareness to, hey, you can love something and admit like, yeah, it's not good or they didn't do that well. You know what I
Not my
mean? Like
favorite. Yeah.
I was gonna say I love Mark Wade, and I'll admit sometimes like, yeah, it didn't land for me, man. Like I love him to death, and I will still buy every comic he makes. Didn't like that book that much. You know what I mean?
Right. Which
It's
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 fine to
fine.
criticize the things that you like. It's as
Yeah.
long as it comes from constructive or
Yeah.
from wanting it to be better.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that is like crazy criticism, like
Yeah.
just some stuff you're like, oh my god, guys, come on, like
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
Let's bring it like let's bring it back to just take a breath,
Yeah.
think it
Well,
over, and
well,
don't
at the end of the
compare it
day,
to
it's like
Justice League.
Well, as I said, not only that, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like we're talking about comic books. We're talking about
Yeah,
people in tights punching each other, and this is
and
just an
other
animated
tights.
version. It's an animated version. It's like, let's not take everything too seriously. It's like at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a release or a way to relax or
Yeah,
whatever, and we can get caught up too much in some of that stuff where it's like missing the forest for the trees. Like, remember what this is. It's a meant as just a way to like
it's
enjoy
just
life,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
It's just like just have fun with it, and like understand there's some stuff that you don't
Yeah.
like about it, but also if the good outweighs the bad, then why concentrate on the bad?
Well, that's at the end of the day, and I think I've said this before, it's like, if it's that bad, vote with your wallet, like, just don't
Yeah,
watch it.
just don't
Like,
watch it.
I think yeah, I hate to say it, but, like, after the first Transformers movie, we're like, "Well, I'm done with that," and you're like, "No, it gets better." I'm like, "That's fine, I'm not watching any more Transformers movies."
Yeah.
Like, I really hated that first one so much, and I love Transformers.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, they're having that like the anniversary of
Oh,
the
yeah.
animated movie is this year, and they're like putting it back in
Oh,
theaters.
snap. That'd be fun to
You
watch.
got the touch.
That you got the power. Well, do you have any final thoughts on the book or on the TV show at this point?
No, no. I mean, like, if you've been reading this far in the compendium, like
You're
you're an
gonna read
Invincible
3.
fan.
Yeah, you're gonna
So
read 3.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's been a fun book. Kirkman knows, even though Kirkman is batshit on some of his views on like current superheroes, or his power scaling is notoriously
Yeah.
crazy, but he still knows how to write a comic book, and
Yep.
he does it well. And Invincible is one of those things that are done really well.
Well, speaking of Kirkman and other books fans can read, what would you recommend? I know, like I said, last time we recommended like Walking Dead and Ultimate Spider-Man as well as The Boys. Is there any other books that fans do you think that fans should kind of be on the lookout for, Josh?
Yeah, I think we mentioned it right now too. Is like there's the miniseries that's currently going on with Battle Beast, which is great. It takes place like after uh he basically just disrupts the new Guardians of the Globe,
Mm,
and it goes to where he's captured. We
yeah,
see Alan and Nolan in this compendium, but that's really fun. That's Kirkman back in that world, and the
yeah. The Otley art
uh
is awesome.
Otley as art, and Ian Battle Beast is just a really cool character.
Yeah. I was gonna say the other book he's doing right now is there was a book he did called Capes, which is set
Mhm.
in this world as well. Um, and it was only like 3 or 4 issues, I think, when it first came out back in, like, the early 2000s, and, it's alright. He's gone back and taken those first 4 issues, and they touched up the art, and they've retweaked the dialogue, so it's still those original issues, it's just updated, I guess, for lack of a better word, but he's continuing the story from there. I will say the first few issues feel like they were written in the early 2000s, even though they've been updated. After you get past that initial arc, though, it's like it kind of does like, oh, there's the Kirkman we like. It kind
Huh.
of finds itself a little bit. So if you're looking to scratch a little bit of that superhero itch that you've been missing, I would check out Capes. The other
It
book,
also has like Machine Head and
yeah, I think
like
so.
Titan,
Yeah,
like those kind of bad guys,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't quote me on that though.
Mm.
Um, the other book I was gonna say, if you really want like that superhero, an adult take on a superhero that feels like kind of enclosed in sort of, I was gonna say check out DC Starman, specifically the James Robinson, like Tony Harris stuff. It went about 80 issues total. There's a couple miniseries, like there was a crossover with Hellboy, and there's a couple like one-off miniseries and stuff like that. Um, they collected them into 2 compendiums very similar to these, but it's got a similar vibe, it's this
Mm.
hero, like, kind of like, "Dude, I'm figuring this out my dad was a hero, my brother was a hero, I just wanted to be a novelty salesman, and my brother died, and now I'm been thrust into this limelight." So, there's a lot of legacy stuff in there, it's interesting, so I was just thinking, it was like, this thematically, if you're looking for a similar vibe, I would, check out the James Robinson Starman. It's worth a read.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our recommended reading. I think that kind of just wraps up the Invincible discussion.
Yeah.
I think again,
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
definitely worth a read. It is a lot of this compendium is a lot of issues. So if that's not your thing, if you want it like bits and morsels. Those volumes
Little trades.
are out, and then also you can also check out the show
Yeah.
because they're starting to catch up with that as well.
Well, as I said, the other thing is we left a lot out. There's a
We
lot of
did
subplots and, like, so we weren't trying to cover everything. We're going into details, like, try to hit the basic not the basic, but the most
the high level
yeah, it's
in
still
corporate
worth
speak.
re
In corporate
yeah,
speak, the
it's
high level highlights.
oh the god. Anyway, yeah, it's still 100% worth a read, and I think we're not I mean, obviously, we spoiled stuff, but I don't think you're gonna be spoiled. It's like I said, there's some really, really fun stuff in there, but, speaking of fun stuff, Josh, what are you reading this week?
So one of the books I picked up was a Absolute Green Arrow, which started I think last week, and I thought
Mhm, did.
it's another fun intro to, or not intro, but it's just another fun start of a new character in this absolute universe, and now just like screwed up this universe is, and how screwed up this new Green Arrow is.
Can I ask a question? And if it's spoiling, you can not answer
Mhm.
this because I have the issue. I haven't had a chance to read it. I've read that everyone loves it. Um, is it Oliver? And if you can't answer, don't say anything.
It's I don't want to say
Okay,
too
okay, we'll leave it
much.
at that. Because there's you did you read Absolute Evil?
Um, I think so. I
It's a
think I did.
one shot that deals with like the
Oh,
villains of the Absolute
yes,
Universe.
yes, I
And it
did.
opens with Green Arrow in it. And so there's
Yeah,
kind of a twist at the end. I'm like, huh, okay. And you're
yeah,
gonna do a
no, I
Green
did.
Arrow book? Okay. Well, we can talk
And
about that offline.
yeah. No, I don't want to get too much.
Yeah, yeah.
There's other characters that are introduced too, which are pretty nice to see, like in this absolute universe. It's like this absolute universe is kind of funny and crazy. Where it's kind of like going back to that the dark universe,
Yeah,
that what they did with
yeah,
the Batman stuff. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but they are absolutely crushing it.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, they are. But it's funny you should mention, um, absolutely because like I was to say, my recommendations, outside of reading like Dungeon Crawler Carl books,
which I'm
um,
on the same book you are.
oh, you're on book 6,
Yeah, the Eye of the
dude.
Bedlam Bride.
Yeah, I the Bell and Bride. I'm in part 2 of it, so I don't know where you're at. Around page like 500 or so.
What chapter?
Crud. They just did a big thing. I'm on chapter 44 right now.
Hold on.
So we should probably
I'm on
discuss this
I'm on chapter
offline.
37. Yeah, we'll
Okay,
talk.
okay, okay. So yeah, we'll discuss afterwards. Um, outside of that, like I said, I love all the absolute stuff. I think Batman is great. I think DC is absolutely killing it like right
Yeah.
now. But I mean, look, I love Justice League. I love World's Finest, all that. I am loving The Flash and Superman right now. The Flash is Ryan North is doing that, and it's the arc is basically like this some villain is like, "Hey, people of Keystone City or Central City, why don't you go if you throw yourself off a building, I'll pay you $10,000 because guess what? The Flash has to save you." So all these people are like on Instagram or social media trying to get themselves killed, like, "Haha, look, it's funny. I'm stepping in front of a train because I know the Flash will save me." And the Flash is just constantly running around the city trying to stop all these idiots from
Mm,
posting on social media to kill themselves. And like, meanwhile, he's like, there's a person behind all this, and I don't know why yet. And so it's really good. But the Superman
nice.
book is Superman Prime or Superboy Prime or whoever it
Superboy
is.
Prime, yeah.
He's filling it for Superman right now. And it's really, he knows he's in a comic book. That's why it works. And so he's making a lot of like fourth wall breaks and all that. But there's like one point where he works he works in a comic book shop, and just like some of the jokes that they make is like it's like they should be married. Everyone knows that. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like, yes, you're clearly talking about Superman or Spidey and Mary Jane, and like they'll make jokes at other like other you know writer's expense. Like at one point he's like, I still think that John and Martha should or John should be dead, but or he's like, even Mark Waid agrees with me on that. And then it's like, side note, Mark Waid does agree with
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
was
It's
just like,
good. It's very
it's really,
meta
yeah, it's very
in a
meta,
fun way.
fourth wall. Yeah, it's fun. It's so like I said, DC is absolutely killing it, and like I'm really loving that. Sorry, Marvel, I'm a Marvel guy, but man, DC, they're hitting it out of the park right now, and good on them.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, I mean, that's really much the end of the show. Thank you for listening through this big, long compendium of Invincible.
Yeah.
And look, if you liked our discussion, you liked what we do here, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube and Spotify and SoundCloud and Amazon and Apple Podcasts, all anywhere and everywhere. We're also again like we said at the beginning of the episode, we're on Instagram and Blue Sky and X. Um, and yeah, and again, if you like the episode, then please give us those 5 stars. We love them five
Yeah.
stars. We just
Love the 5 stars.
and comment too. Like let us know how you're feeling about the episode, how you're feeling about the book we just read, and
Are these
um,
episodes too long? Should they be shorter? Should they be longer? Should we do
no,
part 2s,
never,
part 3s?
never shorter, never shorter. Um, and again, if you have any recommendations you want us to kind of deep dive or talk about too, as well, like get our opinion on. We're always open to suggestions. Helps
Mhm.
it makes our job easier. It's like trying
Yes,
to
it does.
figure out what's for dinner every night. As long as somebody has
Well,
something on the menu, we're good.
I was gonna say, literally, I think we spent, like, 5 I don't even know if 5 it was a good, like, 15 minutes discussing, "Well, what can we do this book? Can we do that book? Can we
Yeah.
do this book?" Yeah. So, anyway.
So no. So I mean, with that though too, like out of all the because we have some ideas lined up for out of all the ideas we came up with. Brian, what are we talking about next episode?
So, we're gonna be talking about the 4-issue miniseries from Black Label's DC's Black Label called Catwoman: Lonely City. It's, by Cliff Chang, and, it's great. I'm always say it's just great. Josh has not read it. I have. I
I
can't
haven't
wait to
yet.
reread it. Yeah, it's a fun book, but, yeah, it'll be a good
Yeah,
breakdown and probably a shorter episode because it's only 4 issues that we
yeah.
have to break
We've
down.
gone from 50 to 4 issues because
It'll be Oh, it's funny. It's like he just, but I was like, we were discussing last time, like, hey, what book should we do now next? I'm like, I don't know. We should probably do. You got to give me something easy to do. What if we did Invincible 2? I'm like, you know what? That sounds easy. I'm like, what was I thinking?
yeah,
Something easier. 50 issues. Sure, that'll be easy to do. Like,
easy peasy.
okay. Juggling kids and a job, and well, by
Yeah.
the gig, not a job, but anyway. All right. Well, on that note,
Again, thank you for everybody for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.
peace.